You're watching a presentation of the Southeastern Conference on ABC.
It's our football tonight. Fight for each other, attack for each other. Everything we have, we leave out on that field. Give us some.
This game against LSU, the atmosphere is going to be unreal.
This is a big opportunity to make a statement on who we believe we are.
We're the best in the nation. OJ, we play harder than them.
Whatever the narratives are, our guys know what they want for an outcome.
Let's go!
There's a lot on the line for us this Saturday.
Soggy, sloppy weather all day, but the storm has moved off. The lights have come on, and Death Valley has come alive as the Aggies come calling. Welcome to the SEC on ABC. Saturday Night Football presented by Capital One and part of the SEC All Day presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts. And all day in the SEC, it has been another wild, unpredictable, and very compelling day. Here are the standings as of right this moment. Alabama got to 5-0, had to come from behind to fight off an upset bid by South Carolina. You see the Aggies sitting a half game back. LSU at 2-2. Around here, you'd think that they're totally out of it, that the season is absolutely over. The players and coaches don't think that. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, they say their goals are all in front of them. But when you think you know something in the SEC this year, you are proven wrong.
Oh, another day of craziness. It's so much fun to be able to watch. You think, like you say, you think the analysis is spot on, and then upsets happen, but that's what's going to make this race in the second half so exciting. But all I know about LSU is you get backed into a corner with a couple losses in conference play. This is typically when they come out swinging against the number 3 team in the country.
Major test for the Aggies. They had the home field a year ago, but LSU got out to a quick lead. Garrett Nussmeier and company up 10. They missed some opportunities to build that lead. And then after halftime, it all turned around. 3 picks thrown by Nussmeier. Marcel Reed off the bench, runs for 3 touchdowns, 31 points in the second half.
Yeah, 2 things that when I'm looking at these highlights, Garrett Nussmeier making some poor decisions late, gave A&M life, but Marcel Reed, like you said, the 3 touchdowns, came off the bench, didn't really feel at any point that LSU had an answer for him, and now they have an entire offseason to try to come up with an answer. He's playing well, really from the Notre Dame game on. This team is believing in number 10. Runs, throws, tough environment. Typically, I've known this kid since he's in elementary school. The bigger the stage, the brighter the lights. He's one of those guys that he typically plays his best game.
Yeah, he was so confident and calm. Says he loves these big road games. He's got some electric playmakers to work with here. On the LSU side, the big problem has been the offense all year long. Garrett Nussmeier has been answering questions about it. They just haven't gotten things going. The loss at Vandy last week, he played well on that game, but all the emotion, Kirk, kind of came out. But he's bounced back this week, ready to go.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the game. He's had a difficult season. He's had so much to deal with as far as these huge expectations on a national level, not only locally. And a game in the season hasn't gone the way he had hoped with some injuries. The guys around him maybe not gelling as well. We saw these guys week 1, and I remember you and I thinking, these guys are national championship contenders. It hasn't been able to come together. He's got to block all of that out tonight and just play free. Not worry about making mistakes. Just be 1 of 11, go out and execute and see what happens.
Brian Kelly told us, I've changed the way I want to coach this team. It's not process and details. Forget all that. Just be violent, be physical. It showed up on the practice field. We'll see if it shows up out here.
1s against 1s in the middle of the season is very unusual. He said they've done that more than any point in his coaching career. And this is going to be a fun game because, like you said, LSU is going to turn it loose, see if it's good enough.
Small underdogs at home. The Aggies 7-0 for the first time since 1994. Good one in Death Valley. Texas A&M and LSU coming up. After these messages of the word from our ABC stations, the Papa John's kickoff is coming up.
You're watching the Papa John's kickoff. For a better game day, order ahead.
And welcome to the Papa John's kickoff. We talked about a wild day on the SEC. Here's the visual evidence of it. Alabama had come through that gauntlet. 4 straight ranked teams beaten. But But somehow you knew in Columbia it could be tricky because of this guy, Lenore Sellers, and the Gamecocks built a lead here.
This is an opportunity for South Carolina to salvage their season. You knew they were going to compete today against Bama.
But Jeremy Bernard with the touchdown, then the two-pointer to tie it. Simpson, a little trickery. Ryan Grubb draws up the ball play.
Yeah, the play caller saved a lot for the end, and this is the play maybe of the year for Alabama. It's the defense getting the ball back in a tied game, under 2 minutes to go. Now more Ryan Grubb with his play calling.
Bernard around the end. Watch him tightrope down the sidelines. A gut-wrenching loss for Shane Beamer. Tide win it by 7.
Yeah, Alabama needed that. Keep that momentum going. Have LSU in a couple weeks.
How about the bounce back from Lane Kiffin? We saw him lose and Georgia blew a lead. Well, they got in front of Oklahoma, then fell behind. That little touchdown pass by Chambliss, and this is a Hail Mary attempt by Mateer, batted down.
Give Ole Miss's defense a lot of credit. Tough to stand up to deal with John Mateer in that offense. They did a heck of a job. You know about Lane Kiffin's offense, but the defense made great plays.
Missouri was a stubborn out for Vanderbilt today. Diving play in the end zone. And Missouri with a backup quarterback ties the game.
Yeah, Matt Zoller steps in, the freshman, and then you see Pavia come back. Just typical Vandy, finding a way. Never really loses their cool. Come back in the second half. The Hail Mary from Zollers ends up incomplete.
One of the great days in Vanderbilt football history. Game day there, and they get the win.
Huge.
Here is Marcel Reed. He's the guy. Running and throwing, surrounded by playmakers, but can he deal with this LSU defense that is going to out for blood tonight with this new philosophy, Harold Perkins and company? And for Garrett Nussmeier, taking care of the football at home. He's been the focal point of the static. He's tuned it out, done a good job. See if LSU can get the W tonight. 1-0 this week. That's the only thing they're focused on right now. The kickoff from Baton Rouge coming up next.
Saturday night in Death Valley.
When darkness descends and the decibels rise, there is simply nothing like Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge.
This is Death Valley. This is truly a place where opponents' dreams come to die.
And in for the score!
Tigers win! Tigers win!
There's something about this place after dark.
Nothing like Death Valley on a Saturday night.
Something's happening here as the sun goes down.
Teams don't just play in Death Valley. They survive it. And since joining the SEC, A&M has never escaped with a W.
Manziel did not have his best game.
That still stings. But these Aggies are undefeated.
7-0 for the first time since '94.
Unshaken.
That's why we take it over.
And with unfinished business.
Bigger baby, 7-0.
In their path, every single soul in Tiger Stadium.
Touchdown LSU.
So let it be loud. Let them scream. Because tonight,
the Aggies are not coming in here scared at all.
we ain't running from the Valley. We're coming to own it.
We appreciate Johnny Football, Johnny Manziel, with that trademark bravado, coming to own Death Valley as a visitor. Rarely done at night, but they are the favorites according to Las Vegas. The series began in the 1900s. LSU's had the edge overall. The last 8 have all been won by the home team. It's been tough to go on the road in the series and win.
It's always tough in the SEC, but that is pretty incredible to think you go all the way back to 1994. And this is it. Like I said, it's a desperate football team. And you know what it's like at night in any stadium in the SEC, let alone Tiger Stadium, where you have to have a win if you're the Tigers.
For LSU, if they can make something good happen earlier, but increase the belief. It's weird to have so many locals feel like, we're going to lose, the season's over. Just not used to hearing that around here in October.
Yeah, especially this late in the year. But inside that building, they believe and they know what's at stake here.
And for the Aggies, the last of the unbeatens to play today, Georgia Tech, BYU, Indiana 1, Ohio State, Navy idle. And after 5 unbeatens fell a week ago, Aggies trying to take care of business here.
Brian Kelly has challenged his team. Quit being tentative. Play free. Fly around. Don't worry about being almost like you become so locked in on the analysis. Tonight it's about emotion and playing at home at night, taking advantage of that.
Different approach, Kirk. Will it produce a different performance? Defense has remained pretty strong. The offense has been sort of an history. Protection for Nussmeier will be a major issue tonight.
Every time you look in there, that tunnel, see what's awaiting those players. This is why some guys pick LSU.
101 years old, one of the great spots in all of sports. Harold Perkins alongside Kelly. One of those guys he wants to play with his hair on fire tonight. Here come the Aggies. Mike Elko knows that when the smoke clears, there's a lot of it right now over the stadium. When it clears, emotion will take a back seat to just execution and doing your job.
It's a football team that has a ton of confidence and belief that they think they can come in here and win. It's not we hope to catch a break. They think that they have what it takes, the wiring to win in here tonight.
Well, it is a week that's approaching Halloween, so we'll take you back to 1958, one of the great plays in LSU history. Billy Cannon fields the punt of the bounce against Ole Miss. He breaks 29 tackles. The mythology of this play is incredible. It was the only touchdown they scored. It was part of a perfect season, a championship season for LSU back in 1958. They waited 45 years before their next national championship, and a guy named Nick Saban came along. Miles won a title. Coach O won a title. Brian Kelly hasn't yet, of course. Alabama last year, the only team to beat him in a home night game.
Yeah, crazy. 20-1. It gives you a great example of this era, how tough it is to do it.
Down there in the smoke on the field is Holly Roses for Brian Kelly.
Well, Coach Kelly, there is something special about Tiger Stadium on a Saturday night like this. Your record here is incredible. How do you make it difficult for Texas A&M to play here tonight?
Records don't mean anything. This is a new day. This is tonight in this stadium. We need to be the best team for the next 3 hours. This is a really good football team. Our guys are ready to play. They prepared well. Let's go play SEC Saturday night.
Thanks, Coach. Brian Kelly also letting us know some big news. They are going to go with a true freshman running back. Harlem Berry will get his first career start. This is a schoolboy legend in this state from Metairie, Louisiana. Over 8,000 yards rushing in his high school career. His first start tonight. And Coach Kelly said he's earned it. He's the most explosive. He's picked up the pass protection rules. And this young man is ready to rock.
18 years old, comes from a small school down there in New Orleans. As you said, Holly, a legend, more than 8,000 rushing yards. But this is the Aggies defense. This is the SEC. Can't wait to see how the young guy handles this big stage.
I remember them talking about him week one, just like any true freshman. He had the ability to run the football, but he's really improved his pass pro, and that's why he's going to get the opportunity to protect Garrett Nussmeier when he passes and run the rock when he gets called upon.
LSU's going to get the football first. A&M won the toss and deferred. Boy, it's been sloppy and rainy. Now it's downright pleasant, 74 degrees. A chance of rain, but not a great chance. Here comes the light show. It is purple haze here, right?
No doubt, man.
Now, the buildup has been great. Brian Kelly very pleased with how his team has responded to his plea for them to play aggressive, but we'll see how it translates out here. As you said, the Aggies, many plates, are a mature, experienced, composed football team. Jared Zirkle. Kyle Parker, Barry Brown are deep for LSU. And the kickoff will sail deep into the end zone. Garrett Nussmeier, he's still been making some sensational throws this year. Did have the 5 interceptions. What does he have to do tonight against this very aggressive pass rush that wants to rob him of time and rattle his cage?
Well, it's easy to look at him, but the offensive line's got to play a lot better. They got to help establish the run game and protect him. But as far as his play, got to be decisive. Get the ball out fast, and most importantly, stay ahead of the chains. A&M, one of the best in the entire country on 3rd down.
Cassius Howell, number 9 for the Aggies, one of the top pass rushers in the SEC. He's a menace. They fake it to the freshman on the first play and then check it down. That's Bowers Sharp, the tight end, for a short gain. Impact players when LSU's got the ball.
Well, you talked about Harlem Berry. Gets this opportunity as a true freshman. See what he can do with it. This is a true freshman. Another one, left tackle, Carius Kern getting a chance to play with Tyree Adams out. And on defense, York, one of the leaders of this defense, been around. This is his 34th start. And on the edge, rusher and the quarterback, 9. Cassius Howell doing a great job, having a big year.
These second down plays become important because the Aggies are tremendous on 3rd down. But Berry, the freshman, breaks loose and says, yeah, I'm ready for this stage. Picks up 16.
Boy, what a job here. You'll see a wide receiver coming from the left to be able to pick up this block on the safety. Good job of being able to get down. In fact, that was the big tight end, Trez Green, that came down to make that block. And then just tough, hard running by the true freshman that we've been featuring. And A&M gets away with a face mask there late on the tackle.
Yeah, Green catches the ball like a wide receiver, but he blocks
that block.
Tight end.
Oh, man.
Juwan Johnson is the back. They'll rotate 4 guys in tonight. Nussmeier flips it into traffic there, tried to set up the screen, but Damian Sanford, the linebacker, got a hand on it.
And when you have a defense that flies to the football, especially early in the game, the way A&M is, I think Joe Sloan there is just trying to get the defense to flow, and almost like a no-look pass on a slip screen. Fortunate that one was not picked off.
Elko very involved, often will call the defensive signals. Joe Sloan calls the plays for Kelly. Berry back in the game on 2nd and 10. 4-man rush, and they got him. Well, 4 guys beat 5, and there is Cassius Howell. The portal from Bowling Green. He is a big problem for everybody who faces this team.
And this is why both these guys were impact players. The freshman left tackle, that's a tough ask on a 2nd and long, obvious passing situation. This has been a reoccurring theme for Garrett Nussmeier. Very lucky to hold on to that ball, and LSU's offensive line not protecting him, especially on the blind side there with a true freshman. Keep an eye on this matchup.
Nussmeier will call a timeout. Kern's a big dude, 320. He told Nussmeier, I got you. I'm going to protect you, not going to touch you. Well, first deep drop back, they hammered him from behind. 3rd and 19 when you come back.
Well, there's Cassius Howell, who's talking right now to the true freshman who he went by, Carius Kern, letting him know this is before the timeout. Yeah, man, it's going to be a long night for you, especially if you're not going to get any help. Davis, the other redshirt freshman tackle, comes over. Then he's looking up receivers. This just gives you an idea of the emotion right now on this field for both these teams.
Howell led the MAC in sacks a couple of years ago, backed up guys like Nick Scorton and Shamar Stewart for the Aggies last year, ready for his moment. Here he is again. Look at that stance. 3rd and 19. Nussmeier fading back and scanning and delivers a ball incomplete on the sidelines. Berry and Brown was running, but that pass rush for the Aggies making itself known. Here comes the punt team.
This time LSU does try to help with Durham, little chip, but watch this. He's still going to go by, gets held there by the freshman, no call. But you could feel Nussmeier feeling that blind side with a true freshman against one of the best rushers in the country, cheating to his right, even with the chip from Durham.
Brandon Chadwick to punt it away. KC Concepcion, one of the electric transfers on this A&M team, as a receiver and a returner, waiting at the 20. And he'll take it at the 18. Dodges one man, two man. Concepcion spinning free. He is really dangerous with the football. One of the big impact newcomers on this team. 48-yard punt, but Concepcion brought it back 14 yards. And here comes Marcel Reed as a runner here at the Bayou Bengals a year ago. Much more accomplished as a passer than he was this time for that matchup.
Yeah, his ability to throw the ball is very underrated. He throws a great deep ball. I think he and Colin Klein, the offensive coordinator, they've done such a good job of working together and putting together a package in the offseason where they can beat you with physicality, running the football with him with +1 QB run. Or if you overcommit with safeties down, they're good enough throwing the ball with the receivers, the Concepcion and Mario Craver. They can make you pay for that as well.
Ruben Owens is the back. He's got the handoff and plows ahead for a couple of yards. Impact players, Kirk and the Aggies have the ball.
Let's start with Ruben Owens, especially with Le'Veon Moss out. He carries a bigger load. We just talked about Concepcion, so dangerous. What a great ability to bring in a great playmaker. That's a look at Moss. And then on the other side, we got Halsey. A.J. Halsey has been leads them in tackles, been a great transfer portal guy on the inside 88, Bernard Gooden. Probably their best interior D lineman. He's a big one tonight.
Yeah, he's been out. Good to have him back healthy. Reed from the pocket delivers across the middle, and it's a crossing right to Concepcion, who sprints out of bounds. Got in front of the freshman DJ Pickett, picked up 13.
Marcel Reed dropped. He looked to his left like he might want to take a shot downfield. Instead, does a nice job, and his offensive line holds up where he can work from his left. Looking, look, come back. Now you do a nice job there of separating with Concepcion, able to just run away from the true freshman DJ Pickett. He's going to be tough for them to match up with tonight.
LSU once again without their top tackler and emotional leader. Whit Weeks has a bone bruise in his ankle, not ready to go tonight. They'll have to fill in for a big void there. Owens stopped for a very short gain. Colin Klein calls the plays for the Aggies. Does a great job doing that. And Blake Baker, they've gone each other 4 years in a row, twice in the Big 12, and then the last couple of years in the SEC.
And we can't see, that's right, we can't see him communicating. He's going with a little bit of tempo here. There it is right now. He still has the ability to talk to his quarterback until 15 seconds, even though they're up at the line of scrimmage, and they have been for about 10 or 15 seconds.
2nd and 9. Ball out quickly, spit to the edge. It's Theo Mellon-Orstrom, the big Swede, and the tight end. First down yardage at the LSU 41.
Did a nice play design there, using motion late. Soft coverage. Love the way Marcel Reed just played all year in command. Such a good field, very decisive. Anytime you see a quarterback get back and the ball comes out quickly, he feels good about what he's seeing and the answers that his offensive coordinator's given him.
Tight ends a part of this offense. Run blocking, of course, and also as receivers. Reed buying time, slings it downfield, and tried to get it into Borkacher, one of those tight ends, is an effective weapon, but A.J. Halsey, one of your impact guys, was tracking it.
Yeah, A.J. Halsey can do a lot of different things, and one of the great things he does is play center field. Just read the quarterback's eyes. Good attempt here. Dangerous throw by Marcel Reed because he threw back into the grain of that defense. That's what gave Halsey a chance to be able to catch up to the ball and knock it away. Marcel Reed scrambles to throw. So defense, you better plaster downfield tonight against Reed.
Owens in the pistol on 2nd and 10. LSU's showing some pressure. Got to hurry here. Play clock at 1. Reed rolling out and wanted to launch downfield. Just takes off. Marcel Reed racing to the pylon. Makes a cut and dives for the end zone. Touchdown A&M. The electric quarterback strikes early from 41.
Now this is undisciplined eyes from the second level of the LSU defense. Make sure he gets across here at the end, kind of gets tripped, dives clearly across, and a touchdown. And this is the danger, the unpredictability of Marcel Reed. He plays within the confines of the offense, but also does a great job at creating. And you know Blake Baker, he's a great defensive mind, but his teams can struggle against a mobile quarterback.
He had a 60-yard touchdown sprint against Arkansas last week, called back, but he is a danger from anywhere on the field to score with his legs.
Absolutely. Chris, what I want you to watch is you have both the safeties. Just keep an eye on the linebackers, rather. Watch them kind of get caught looking in the backfield. Nobody's mirroring him. Nobody has him really ability to kind of keep him leveraged. He gets out, the back end of the defense is in man coverage, and he's got the speed not just to pick up a first down. He takes off. He's thinking about the end zone, and he's got A&M up early here at Tiger Stadium.
Sunday NFL Countdown production meeting. Randy, no Lamar again tomorrow.
Going against the Chicago Bears, if they lose this game tomorrow, their season is over.
See you tomorrow morning at 10. Chris and Herbie, back to you.
Should be there. Thanks.
Nice, fellas. Appreciate that.
Well, what a start for A&M. Pass rush gets home, pushes LSU back, and the Aggies go right down the field. 68 yards in 6 plays. Longest run of Reed's career. Remember, he had 3 rushing touchdowns against LSU last year. Arian Brown tries to bounce. It does get the edge, and the former Kentucky Wildcat out near the 30. This LSU defense continues to struggle against QBs who can run. That's 3 games in a row coming in.
Yeah, of course, Marcel Reed had a monster day last year. We called the game with Milroe when he came in here, and then you mentioned this year, Chambliss, Diego Pavia. These are 2 really athletic and talented quarterbacks.
Lenore Sellers also hurt him.
That's right, Sellers, and already early here, Marcel Reed sees man coverage, nobody spying him, and uses his instincts and speed to get to the end zone for a big touchdown.
The Aggie band and the fans, and they're here a pretty good number, making noise as Harlan Berry seems close to breaking a long one, picked up 5 on first down.
Yeah, I think, you think of the spirit of this LSU team, coming in a little bit of a wounded team as far as emotional support and the way they felt. Now you're down 7-0. This is an opportunity to answer, and Joe Sloan, the play caller, electing to go not necessarily breakneck speed tempo, but trying to get a little bit of a rhythm established here.
2 by 2. And now Kyle Parker comes in motion, so 3 wide receivers to the right of Nussmeier. They run it, and Berry running hard, and it's a first down. Right across the 35, picked up 6 more.
Yeah, good job up front. I tell you, we got a battle going right now in the trenches. Braylon Moore, that time taking on Torian York. Just a huge collision. A linebacker 21 right there knocks him on his backside. So York 21, if you like physicality, you watch LSU when they try to run the ball, just keep your eye in the middle. 21, watch how quick he gets downhill.
I like everything about 21. How he communicates, his confidence, his command of this defense. Nussmeier, long pitch to the perimeter, and catch made by Brown, who scoots out of bounds. He can still throw a lot of beautiful balls when you give him a little time, Nussmeier.
Yeah, and also he felt that run-pass option. He could have handed that ball off or flipped it to the outside. Did a nice job of reading the safety, tried to trick him. Tyreek Chappelle did a good job of kind of sitting in there and then dropped in almost into that passing lane, but the RPO pays off for a first down.
You were puzzled last year, right? Sometimes making the wrong choice on the RPO, and he knows it. He knows he's improved in that area.
Yeah, he made a great decision and an accurate throw there for yards after the catch, for sure.
Pass rush comes, ball pitched to the perimeter here. This is Juwan Johnson, the running back, makes a couple guys miss, and is going to be spun down at midfield. Had to work hard. York made the stop.
Not a ton of yards, but right now Joe Sloan's just trying to feel how A&M's going to try to play him. Mike Elko, one of the great defensive minds in all of college football, and they're going to disguise. And second year in this system with a veteran secondary. They say the strength is the defensive line this year for Mike Elko, but experience on the back end really allows him to get exotic and play with the quarterback and offensive line's minds, especially if they get you behind the sticks.
Ball out quickly and caught at the end by Fredez Green. When you got the play sheet up over the microphone, it indicates that he's talking to the Green Dot York, so it's a strong indication he's actually calling the defenses frequently here.
Yeah, there are a lot of guys who are head coaches that they don't want to let go of it. Mike Elko doesn't want to let go of it, and why should he? He's one of the best that can do it. Love LSU, some quick throws, get the ball out, don't deal with that pass rush, and if you have a cushion from the corner, just take the easy yards.
4 different receivers have caught passes already. Nussmeier zips a quick throw, and Aaron Anderson, the dangerous small receiver, picks up 8. Terry Chappelle made the tackle.
Yeah, Chappelle has really good instincts right here, but what I love is location, slow down on the outside. On the outside shoulder, Bowens to use his body to shield Chappelle away from the ball. If that's thrown to the inside, he's got a hand on it. Outside gives him a chance to kind of sink, meanwhile use his hips and his back to keep the DB away from him.
He zipped that pass right between 2 leaping Aggie defenders. 2nd and 2 is where they want to be against this defense. Nussmeier will take a downfield shot, launches down there for Brown, and it's incomplete, but a flag comes out. Des Ricks was in coverage.
Yeah, he lost the football, makes contact near the end of the play, so they'll get the PI.
An aggressive approach, though, Kirk. They make a nice gain on 1st down and already an opportunity to take a shot downfield.
Defense, number 2, 15-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
One of those tall and long corners for the Aggies against some very fast LSU guys on the edge.
Yeah, especially Brown. He can get downfield. See his head? Looks for it at the end, but his hands are up. There's just no chance you're not going to call that. And heck of a job. Joe Sloan uses motion. See how he's able to move? Now he gets a different matchup. Now he's able to go downfield against Ricks, where he either gets the PI or possibly the touchdown.
So, Kirk, now Ricks is out. Julio Humphrey takes his place. 2nd down. Slant. Green. Big fella bracketed. Tough to bring down. Trades Green to the 5-yard line. 1st and goal. Got 14 that time.
See a little play action with Nussmeier. Watch his little pitch this way. Watch the linebackers react. Now that creates even a bigger lane and chance for yards after the catch by the big tight end Green. See all that space in there? Boy, he's a big body at 6'7", but like you said, has wide receiver skill set and has really been coming on here these last few weeks.
And LSU punch it in. Aggies have been stout down in the red zone. 4 receivers, bunch to the right. They go back to the left. Green, jump ball. That was easy. Des Green, a red zone weapon. What a drive for Nussmeier. Surgical.
Well, if you wanted to keep this crowd in the game after the Aggies scored in the fashion in which they did, you needed an answer. And that's what Garrett Nussmeier did. Watch this. He's covered. Chris, look at this. He still says, he's never covered. In fact, that's what they tell him. 14 is never covered. Have the confidence, put it up high where he can make a play on it. Heck of a job there to try to get the right hand in there to knock the ball away by Will Lee. But he's able to secure it, and the Tigers have an answer.
Big body, strong hands. Ramos for the PAT. Nussmeier 6 for 6 on that 74-yard answering touchdown drive. Good start here in Baton Rouge. 7 apiece. Aggies and Bayou Bengals. Saw Trades Green box out his opponent in the end zone. Great hooper. Playing defense.
Playing defense, finishes, and then he's on the football field doing amazing things. He's covered, but he posts him up, goes up and over Will Lee for LSU's first touchdown. Love how he finished that catch. They did a good job getting hands on that.
He had 2 guys over there. There was no mystery. They're going that way.
Yeah. 2 guys covered, quote unquote, never covered, is what Joe Sloan tells Garrett Nussmeier.
Earls kick up the goal line, taken by Terry Bussey. And Bussey wrestled down across the 27. Play brought to you by Modelo, the first drive for the Aggies. A couple completions, then the big touchdown run.
Yeah, really good job of coming into a hostile environment and relied on your quarterback to make some good decisions. Had a couple nice completions, looked really comfortable. And then did a nice job here taking advantage of some bad eyes. Man coverage, linebackers didn't leverage him. Was able to sneak out the back door. He's so dangerous in the open space. LSU fans know from last year where he ran for 3 touchdowns off the bench. A lot of zone read. That was just a straight up scramble for touch.
Holly, you also super impressed with Reed when we visited with him yesterday.
Well, that's right. His confidence is off the charts, and I asked him, where does it come from? He said, I was so good at different sports growing up. I just learned to be competitively confident. I love away games. Come on, I want it. He really was challenging these fans.
Handoff inside. Jamarian Morrow Part of that deep rotation. We'll see 4 or 5 different Aggies carry the football, and he got 11 yards that time. Cheryl's his mom. She's maybe the sports mom of the year there. Every game.
Yep.
Doesn't miss one.
There's Dad. Yeah, this is
Tamika there.
I've had a chance to know that family. There's Mom right there. Yeah. I've known this family for a long time. It's incredible to watch. Marcel Reed is the same guy here coaching or playing for this team as he was as a youngster. Just very poised, almost just a flatline personality as a competitor.
Good protection and incomplete. Tried to zip it to Morrow that time in the flat, low throw. A lot of guys say, oh, I love away games. I want to come in here and silence the crowd. You have to back it up, though. You have to be unusually composed to do that.
And they've done, like I said, last year he was a surprise, kind of a change-up in the second half of the year. This year they had an entire offseason to build their offense, not only around him, but Casey Concepcion, Mario Craver coming through the portal. This is no longer a team that just runs the ball. He'll take shots downfield. It's a very balanced attack.
Reed on the keeper. After the breakout game against LSU, went on the road, won his first real big road start in the swamp, no less.
That's right. Tough environment. Watch Halsey here, Chris. He has a chance if he'd like to. This is basically a pitch. If he comes up, just think if he throws that football right there down that right sideline. So triple option football out on the perimeter instead of pitching it. That DB collapses on you. You have that option to flip it downfield.
E.J. Smith, in his 6th year of college football, the first 4 at Stanford, his second year here with the Aggies. Of course, son of Emmett is the back. 3rd and 8.
7 guys up. Are they all coming? Who's dropping?
6 of them come. Ball out. Reed completes it. And Concepcion slips free. A big gain into LSU territory.
What a route by Concepcion. Really did a nice job of selling this. Keep in mind, Delane, one of the top corners, I think the top corner in the country. Look how he shakes him right there. That's a great matchup of good against good. Not only the great route, but how about the yards after the catch? When he catches the ball in space, I think he's a running back with that kind of skill set that he has.
Sent out to Smith, too. The running back stepped up and blocked the blitz very nicely by Sean Spears that time. They fake it to E.J. Reed again. Dances free. It's so hard to contain. He's got the speed, but he's also got a lot of wiggle. Missed tackle by Harold Perkins that time.
Yeah, Perkins is playing more linebacker tonight. They want to see him. Didn't have a great game last week, but he's got to be able to make plays in space. Much easier set up here than down on the field. Trying to rip at the ball there was Tamarcus Cooley, but a heck of a job by Marcel Reed. Not just the movement and being elusive, but the awareness to take care of that ball.
Perkins was the green dot. They made a change. Didn't have to worry about the coach's communication. They wanted him just to play fast because he wasn't playing fast in that game against Vanderbilt, and he is a very fast guy, so they're trying to get him going tonight.
Yeah, I think they felt as a defense they were thinking a little bit too much and almost paralyzed from overthinking. So it was a big focus this week, moving him back to linebacker, just trying to turn Perkins loose, really the entire defense loose. Right now, 2 series in, they clearly have their hands full against Marcel Reed in this Aggies offense.
Now it's Mari Daniels' turn in the backfield, the 4th Aggie tailback to see action. Reed pitches far side. Terry Bussey is a versatile piece. At one point he was a DB for the Aggies. Played running back last year. Also could play receiver. First down.
First down. Heck of a job here by Niblack clearing out kind of a flood to just kind of clear that corner that takes him with them. And first I thought you might see Marcel Reed take a shot downfield. Watch him kind of, he wants to, then he comes down, basically a check down. But with these receivers, just check it down and let them do the work after the catch.
8th play of the drive. Reed in command here so far in Tiger Stadium. Short throw off target to Mario Craver. Another electric newcomer, came from Mississippi State. Craver and Concepcion have been hard for opponents to handle this year.
Yeah, sometimes you hit in the portal nowadays, sometimes you miss. They hit 2. And this is the red zone, tied for 16th in the country, 20-27. Having an elusive quarterback definitely helps when it comes to this area. It's either a quick decision or, as we've seen, make them tackle Marcel Reed.
The 2nd and 10 run. And keeps it off the left side. Jacoby and Guillory knocked him down. It's going to be 3rd down and long now for the Aggies offense here in the red zone.
That's a lot to ask of Guillory, who's 320 pounds. Had an Achilles a year ago, but anytime you're 320 and you're trying to chase down Marcel Reed, that's a great play to get him to 3rd down.
Final minute of this first quarter. Pre-snap maneuvering here. Play clock at 6. Tigers back off. Reed tries to make a play in the move. Throws it end zone. Touchdown. KC Concepcion from 15 yards out. And A&M back on top.
Well, again, what a job by this offense. Patrick Payton looked to have a chance at getting to him, but Marcel Reed has more strength than you realize. He's able to pull away from that threat and had a really good feel of when to get out of it. And then the eyes downfield, we mentioned he wants to scramble to throw, and he hits it.
Concepcion, it was interesting. They said they had to convince him to come watch a practice. Elko said he'd watch Reed run around and thought, I'm not going there if the guys are running quarterback. No, come watch this guy throw in practice. He did. He was sold.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at the AT&T clicker. There's a trips formation to the right, and he's to the inside right here. The pressure will come from here, and you'll see him step up away from that. But watch Concepcion. He kind of sells it like he's going to the outside, then gets vertical. There's the pressure. Good job of the redshirt freshman giving him a chance to survive. Now, instead of taking off, he sees Concepcion, who, by the way, the entire time, alone in the back, space to work with, on time, and a good job of stepping back to his quarterback to make sure that's a touchdown.
7th touchdown reception for number 7, and the Aggies 2 for 2, 75 yards in 10 plays.
Now, they've all been watching this for a long time. Like I said, his dad's a coach, was a coach for a long time, head coach in town there in Nashville at MTSU.
That was a tough coach, wasn't he? I coached him in high school. He said, I wanted to ride home from my high school games with Mom. He said, Mom, could you please drive to the game so I don't have to ride home with Dad? Because Dad would always find fault, no matter how well he played.
That's great.
Holly?
Well, you see that on-field chemistry with Marcel Reed and KC Concepcion. Marcel said, I was just over at his house Wednesday. They're at each other's house 2 or 3 days a week. In fact, KC got to campus first this summer and this winter was texting him like, hey, when are we throwing? When are we throwing? And you can see that brotherhood off the field has started to really develop into chemistry on the field. They knew exactly where each other were in that moment because of that relationship.
And you know how it's amazing. Every year, these teams that end up kind of the cream starts to rise. There's always those stories about the quarterback and the receivers when no coaches are around, nobody's around, putting in those hours in that June and July time frame.
Now Nussmeier, who's put in plenty of hours with his guys, trying to answer again. It's Harlem Barely ducking down for a short gain.
Well, we saw the Tigers respond with an answer when it looked like A&M might be able to really silence the crowd. They were able to drive the length of the field and put a touchdown on the board.
Very few offenses have had this kind of success against LSU's defense. They've struggled to score points, but the defense has been stout. Major challenge tonight. Nussmeier probably can sense that. It's going to take quite a few points to win this game, and he finds Aaron Anderson for 14 yards. Entertaining, frenetic first quarter here on the Bayou. 14-7, Texas A&M after 1. We'll be back after this message and a word from your local ABC station. You are watching the SEC on ABC tonight. Set for the second quarter in Baton Rouge, the SEC on ABC, and Saturday Night Football presented by Capital One. Nightcap of another wildly entertaining day in the SEC. Texas was down 17 in the fourth quarter. Silenced the Cowbells, won in overtime. How do they do that?
And they saved their season.
Yeah.
I gave up on that one. I was on the bus with you. I thought we almost flipped that one off. It was over.
Would have been a third loss for the preseason number 1. Barry Solid start to this game for the freshman. His first career start, picks up 4.
Such an emphasis against Mike Elko. It's always important, but such an emphasis tonight about avoiding 3rd and long against Elko's defense. That means 1st and 10 success. Getting that 2nd and 6, 2nd and 7, and then getting to the 3rd and manageable.
Four-man rush. They twisted and they got home, and Cassius Howell has knocked down Nussmeier for a 2nd time tonight.
Yeah, it's slow to get up, but they go empty. Means you only have 5 offensive linemen. Here's a redshirt freshman going against one of the best pass rushers. Not a back, not a tight end, nobody to help out. They didn't even have to blitz. Howell right now is just a handful off the edge. He's lined up on both sides. He's beaten both the young tackles, Kern, and also that time Davis.
The plan, Brian Kelly and Joe Sloan both told us, was to help out those tackles, not leave them alone against Howell. Not been able to do that so far. 2 sacks already for number 9. Nussmeier. Long pitch, and it's broken up. Reaching around was Will Lee, the 3rd, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, that's the experience of Will Lee. Yeah, it's his 20th start. Came over from Kansas State where he had 9 starts, and he knows the down and distance. Exactly, he almost prematurely starts to come back right where that 1st down marker is, and then gets the right hand on it. Really good look at that right hand. No PI, worked around the body and knocked it away.
So that's 2 LSU possessions that have been wrecked by Cassius Howell on that pass rush. Concepcion just came up with a touchdown, back to return the punt, waving for the fair catch at the 16-yard line. And Marcel Reed, they haven't solved him yet. They didn't solve him in the 2nd half last year, and not so far in the 1st quarter here tonight. Monday Night Football in Kansas City as Mahomes and the Chiefs host the Washington Commanders, who will start Marcus Mariota. Heisman winner filling in for the fellow Heisman guy, Jaden Daniels, still out. Peyton Eli at 8 o'clock Eastern as well.
Commanders, a very talented team, and obviously been dealing with some injuries, but don't look now. But here comes Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and the Chiefs and Andy Reid starting to play some really good football in recent weeks.
No doubt. Aggies' 3rd possession. They're 2 for 2. And Reed looking for more. It's a low throw. Mario Craver gets involved with his first catch, comes back and grabs it for an 11-yard gain.
He got a little bit of pressure that time on the blind side, but he did a heck of a job there not letting that really impact him at all. This guy is so different from where he was a year ago when he would come in to play, and most of his opportunities were a lot of zone read game. This offense is built around his arm, his ability to execute, look and process quickly, and of course you still sprinkle in him in the run game.
Ball is loose, and they have to go back and dive on it. Recovered there by Reuben Owens, the running back. They'll lose 11.
Fire just snapped the ball. I think everybody on the offense, including Marcel Reed, very surprised that ball was snapped.
Yeah, Nabu.
He's looking out to bring the motion over.
It can get loud in this place. Communication can be a challenge. They were lucky that hit his arm. If that didn't hit his arm, it rolls free, and gives LSU an even better chance to recover it. 2nd and 21. Reed threw it right to a defender. A diving play on the ball by P.J. Woodland. They're saying incomplete, but a dangerous throw. Rare mistake like that from Reed almost was disastrous.
Sure was. Mario Craver starts to work outside, and I think that's what surprised him. Ball definitely hits the ground. It's called incomplete on the field, but the miscommunication. Craver started to work out. You can see there to the outside, and by the time, right when he started to move to the outside, that's when the ball came out of the hands of Reed.
Wow, their first 2 possessions for the Aggies so clinical, resulting in touchdowns. This one's been a little chaotic. And now 3rd and 21. LSU only a 3-man rush. They drop 8, and they still pressure Reed, who's harassed and has to throw the ball away in the end zone. Jamari Butler got there with a 3-man rush. not a good series for the Aggies up front at all.
No, but if you're an LSU fan, this is what you've been waiting for. Turn them loose. Brian Kelly told us that's the message to this defense. It's really one of the first times these last couple plays we've seen that. What a job there of finishing and rushing with 3. He had obviously nowhere to go with the football, and Butler forces that ball out. He was lucky it wasn't intentional grounding. He was just outside of the end zone, so it would not have been a safety.
So the misfire on the snap, the breakdown in protection. Tyler White standing at his 1-yard line to boot it away. Xavier Thomas, very dangerous returner for LSU, standing at his 40. And they just get it off with a play clock, and it's blocked. Ball bouncing out of the back of the end zone. LSU comes up with a safety, a special teams play. Caleb Jackson flying in to make the block off the edge.
They got an overload to the right. Look at the late movement. That late movement by those 2 defenders at the second level freed up Caleb Jackson to get through. What a well-designed, all-out punt block.
And the way the lefty White, very methodical on that, but a free runner gets home. And LSU on the ropes defensively comes up with a stop, and now the punt block for the safety. So the lead is now 5. This place has come back alive. Momentum on LSU's side suddenly.
No doubt about it. Mike Elko and the Aggies had taken a crowd out of the game with the way their offense was playing, and special teams, LSU's defense making the plays, rushing 3, dropping 8. You can see how frustrated. Not only you give up a safety, but you lose momentum, and now this place is back alive again.
Patrick Doherty is the special teams coach. You could read lips perhaps from Elko. He said bleeping untouched, and he was right. So Zirkle, the free kick from the 20. Brown standing at the 15. Pretty good boot. And Brown escapes briefly, but not as good a field position as they'd hoped for maybe at the 33.
And let's not forget, they went backwards. That bad snap, they were at 1st and 10. And the snap surprises Marcel Reed. Now you're way behind the sticks. Now you change deep in your own territory. Instead of 1st and 10, you pick up a few yards. Everything's been going great. Now you're 2nd and forever, and you go into a little bit more of a conservative mode. So that bad snap definitely caused that turnover, or at least a safety.
Nussmeier will try to keep this momentum rolling now. Barry, very much the feature back tonight in his first start. Picks up 3. Dalton Brooks made the tackle.
See Regis, 17, a fixture in the middle of his defense up front. He got a hold of the freshman Barry, and then as soon as he came off the tackle, he put his hands up. I didn't get the face mask. I did not get that face mask.
Caden Durham spells him now. Been hampered by an ankle injury.
He did get the face mask, even though he came up like a foul. Nope, wasn't me. It was.
That's a dead giveaway when you start doing that.
Yeah.
Off the play fake, pressure comes, and it's a check down, a low throw. He had Green open. Nussmeier would like to have that throw back, on a backpedaling as they close in on him.
Oh, if he just laid it out there. It was a slide route right away. You can see Green kind of works out here. You just don't see. Right now, just floated. Nobody's out there with him. A breakdown in coverage from A&M. They lost him. You see this all the time in college and pro football. That slide route on the backside out in the flat. Nobody ran with him, and he missed it.
Surrounded by green grass.
Get it out early.
Had the ball gotten to him. So instead of a big gain, it's 3rd and 7. Aggies showing pressure, and they bring it. Ball is out quickly, and the catch is made, but Kyle Parker is drilled right away. Just a 3-yard game. Chappelle showed up to make the play, and it's 4th down.
Again, what is Mike Elko known for? There's concern, obviously. Been hurt all year.
Yeah, that's that left ab. That's the injury that really plagued him, affected how he threw the football. He appeared to be holding that area, Kirk.
You can see real quick on his replay, bring the pressure late, free man on the left. That's the hit that really caused the pain. You can see he also gets stepped on. Yeah, kind of a microcosm of his season in one play.
Yeah, you're right, because he was holding his helmet, but he's also had his hand down on that abdominal area, which was so painful. He was describing yesterday how it affected the way he threw the ball, that every time he would kind of torque his body, it would be painful. Also been dealing with an ankle as well. So just tough guy, not being attended to. Headset back on. The Aggies take over. Still up 5. Back to the haunted house, Kirk, which you missed last night, which I know crushes you to miss this. This is great fun. This is not fun for Nussmeier. Watch the blitz here.
3.
Gets hit, and then watch what happens. Marcus Ratcliffe, right there, accidentally steps on the helmet.
Brian Kelly, when we were away, he's talking about 3 separate times. My quarterback's getting hit. You got to take care of him. It's up to you. You got to protect him.
Yeah, he said James Carter told him that it's your responsibility to call it. Reed from the pocket, crossing route, and they continue to use the tight ends effectively. Orstrom got out there, big gain out near midfield. Second catch tonight for the Swede.
Well, we just saw LSU run a tight end opportunity to go out in the flat. This time he just dragging underneath. Miscommunication. Nobody there to be able to pick him up. And Reed recognized that pretty quickly and got the ball out.
21-yard chunk to get the drive going. Marion Morrow runs hard to the left, picks up just a couple. West Weeks, older brother of Witt, is out trying to step up. Number 33, one of the 3 Weeks brothers, is on the team.
Yep, Weeks got to do a lot there in the middle. Remember, he's playing with Perkins next to him. Weeks, you're talking about the heart and soul of this defense and the entire team. There's a look at him right there. Hopefully be back for Bama in a couple of weeks. I think that's their hope.
With a bye next week. Morrow motions back into the backfield. And the flag. And it's going to be a
movement by A&M receiver, Craver.
Ball start. Offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Way too many penalties on Elko's offense early in the season. Penalties like that, holding penalties were a problem. And they cleaned it up lately.
It's actually the left guard. You had a receiver and a lineman just barely moving.
So 2nd and 12. Reed zips it to the sidelines, and the catch made by Craver, knocked out of bounds near midfield, picked up 5, makes it a more makeable 3rd and 7 now.
Yeah, by using that motion, allowed him to be able to get a little bit more of a soft cushion, just pick up a few yards, but still looking at a very difficult 3rd and 7. Remember, LSU, they rushed 3 and got home. Saw Butler force the ball out last possession.
Crowd trying to make a difference. Pressure comes. Reed steps up and launches. One-handed grab by Ashton Bethel-Roman. Still running. Bethel-Roman, the redshirt freshman, gets involved, makes a huge play.
Brought pressure up the middle, but watched him pick this pressure up. Gives Marcel Reed a great pocket to be able to step up in. Heck of a job. Whoa, very close to taking that chance of going up and over the defender. But it pays off. Just clears P.J. Woodland. And a 3rd down and 7 conversion, and one of the great catches of the weekend by
Bethel-Roman got 47. Son of Greg Roman. So 1st and goal. Reed zips it incomplete. It was a fastball off the hands of Concepcion. Woodland was in coverage.
Got that in there. He had a chance. Looking it off, comes back to the backside, which is right on the money. Over again, the safety. It's a couple throws he's taken a chance on and able to get through that second level.
He can spin it, as they say.
Oh yeah, he can. Remember, his legs always a threat down here. You better spy him.
Hands off, and Smith, initial contact, able to move forward, but it's going to be 3rd and goal. Got just a yard. Guillory on the stop.
Yeah, Patrick Payton made that play. Not going to get credit for it, but it's completely blew that tight end up.
What do you do now if you're the Tigers? You obviously got to keep an eye on 10. It's an empty backfield as it stands right now.
Of course, you give him the threat, let him spread the field out, give him a chance to throw it or take off and test that LSU defense.
Big cushion on the left here. LSU defender standing in the end zone, almost enticing him to throw it to that side. Instead, he throws a pick over the middle. Picked off by Halsey. Halsey all the way out to the 25. So Reed makes a mistake, and LSU with a huge takeaway.
Well, normally you would see Patrick Payton in there to blitz or to rush off the edge. This time he shows pressure, then he backs out. And Marcel Reed's taking a few chances. I don't know if he got a fingertip on it or not, but Halsey does a good job of just reading the eyes of Marcel Reed. Brought him over right in that passing lane, and he comes up with a pick.
AJ Halsey's a ball hawk. He's been looked at in the medical tent, but his second pick for LSU, 9th of his career. Huge moment as LSU comes up with a takeaway when the Aggies were trying to extend the lead to double digits. Nussmeier took a beating last time, remember, back in the game, flips it down, and Bowers Sharp, the tight end, is going to be tackled behind the line, lost 2.
You and I were looking at this at the break. Halsey does a nice job here, but I think Marcel Reed makes a mistake by predetermining to throw this football to the tight end. A little stick nod, and I think he thought he would beat the linebacker, but he lost sight of the safety, Halsey, who's just reading his eyes and playing center field, came right over to step in front of that throw. So the first mistake of the night by Reed.
He was a ball hawk with the Houston Cougars. 7 picks there, and now 2 for LSU. Durham runs inside. It appeared that he injured his shoulder. You can kind of lift for one of the athletic trainers somewhere as he was knocked down. Paid a visit to the medical tent. Now he's back out. Holly, what do you have?
Hey, my sources down here telling me Stinger, he should be fine to go back in.
Okay, that's good news.
Appreciate your sources, Holly, and your reporting. But suddenly, again, the defense makes a play. Kirk, they got momentum behind the 6 now. 3rd and 13 here.
Everything they want to avoid. It's been a problem all year. Their average on the year is 7.7, which is a long way on 3rd down.
Aggies have forced opponents into a whole lot of 3rd and long. That's why they have the best 3rd down defense in the country. Just 23%. They break down these 3rd down situations.
Offense, number 0, 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
And there's a huge tape of 3rd and 7 plus against this A&M defense.
That's right. That's right. And that's why they're one of the tops in the country. They're 3rd in the nation in 3rd down defense. You come into the night averaging LSU's offense 7.7 on 3rd down, which isn't great. In fact, it's 114th in the country. Tonight, they're averaging about 3rd and 14 on the night. Tough to keep the ball. It's a big emphasis that Brian Kelly talked to us about, converting and possessing the football.
How about 3rd and 18 after the penalty? Aggies rush 4, ball out quickly, but a long way for Aaron Anderson to go, and he's going to be bumped out by Chappelle. So here comes the punt team.
Yeah, he's going to be fired up.
Some boos from the crowd. And there's a flag down in the secondary. It's in the area where it could be perhaps defensive holding down there. It's a long way from where the quarterback was.
Xavier Thomas was downfield trying to make a block, and he and the A&M defender, Chappelle, were kind of going back and forth grabbing the jerseys.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness against the defense. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. First down.
Wow, that's a crusher. The punt team's on for LSU, and a dead ball personal foul gives LSU new life to the 42.
And I think it might have been Des Ricks, who was really on the bench of the LSU sideline, and it came well after the play. Let it roll, and then you'll see a couple defenders go into the sideline. Watch right here, a little push.
Ricks number 2 up to the right of the screen.
Yep, up to the right.
And Nussmeier taking a shot downfield. Looping throw, catch made by Berrien Brown. Deep shot. He beat Ricks that time, and LSU is set up.
Well, good job here by Nussmeier. He gets a safety, kind of cheating up, so he's got one-on-one. He just puts it up for his receiver. What an adjustment late. I don't even know how he saw the football.
41-yard strike.
Jeez, what a catch.
Fought through the hand fighting of Ricks.
And I don't think he saw that ball until the last few moments to be able to secure it.
LSU receivers, a lot of drops this year, among the leaders nationally. Not a great record on contested catches. That was highly contested that time, and Brown did a tremendous job. What a swing. That personal foul, we think it was Ricks, not clear, but gives the Bayou Bengals new life, and then a 41-yard strike, and they're going to be set up in the red zone here. Another look here.
I think we're going back. Des Ricks gave up this big pass, and you go 2 plays earlier. I don't think he cared for that little push there by Berrien Brown, and then he responded, and it was his response that got the call that kept this drive alive. In the very next play, they go right after him again, right after Des Ricks. Same matchup. It was Brown blocking. This time he's going downfield and makes what an incredible catch this is. Pretty good coverage by Ricks.
What a one-on-one battle on the edge between these two guys.
Just caught it with his right arm and hand.
First down from the 17. Nussmeier steps up, throws end zone. He almost threw a pick. Tracking back across was Dalton Brooks, the safety.
You know, you see that throw right away, you think, boy, what's he thinking? But I think it was tipped up close near the line of scrimmage. Yeah, that ball clearly is tipped. Looked like an easy pick for Brooks, who's a really good athlete, but right there, that ball's going to go anywhere. Zone defense, eyes on the ball. He just doesn't secure it. Only 2 picks on the year for A&M's defense.
Now they hand it off to Berrien, the freshman bursting down inside the 5. Brian Kelly said he's earned the start, and he looks the part, 13 yards.
Great job on the right side. Josh Thompson, a Northwestern transfer, and Weston Davis, combination block. And then on the backside, he's able to kind of locate. This is really good vision for a true freshman. Just kind of presses the hole and waits for that blocks to be established.
Colin Eccles, who was involved in that block, is now having his ankle looked at on the field. It'll be 1st and goal for LSU. This drive extended by the penalty. And the big 41-yard strike to set it up.
Looks like he'll have a chance to be able to come back at left guard, but that right side with Davis and Thompson, a great block. You know, left guard spot's been a problem all year for LSU. But I tell you, against this sophisticated A&M defense, holding up pretty well. You got a true freshman at left tackle. You got a redshirt freshman at right tackle against this defense. That is tough.
Paul Mubenga steps in for Eccles. Empty backfield. 4 receivers stacked to the right. Got Green off to the left. He threw it that way before. Now Nussmeier's going to run it. Nussmeier tried to weave his way inside, had to bounce it back, and he'll take a loss. Noah McHale, the tackle for loss.
Yeah, nice job here on the edge. I think that's really what blew up the timing of this. He needs to sell this as a pass, but he just doesn't have the time to do it. A&M got penetration so quickly, it forced Nussmeier, who, by the way, has been dealing with all kinds of injuries. They want him to use his legs when it's ready. That's a design QB draw to catch the defense off guard with that quad formation, but they were ready.
Second and goal. Berry, hesitation, makes a cut. Freshman in the end zone. LSU reclaims the lead.
Boy, the back showing some great vision on these last few plays. They warned us, players and coaches telling us about Harlem Berry and what he could do. They wanted some energy in this run game.
Well, fans of St. Martin's Episcopal High School, which is a 1A school, said, we could have told you. We could have told you Berry was good, and he was ready for this. But you can't overstate. You could see Elko's face, how disappointing that was from the A&M perspective. That penalty, as the PAT, by the way, doinks off the upright, and the lead is still 1. Ramos, very reliable kicker. They got a piece of it, it looked like, before it hit the upright. Whew. So special teams on both sides a little shaky at the moment.
Let's take a look at the AT&T connected clicker. You're going to see a DN collapse down. There's no edge to the defense, and really good vision by this freshman. See how he presses the hole, but he's not just going to run it right into the teeth. Instead, he's able to find grass to the backside, sees that in, had collapsed, and then it's just him getting north and south and having a nose for that goal line. Really good vision, good instincts. You can just see it as a true freshman.
Torian York, very productive tackler. He was right there kind of trying to break it down, and freshman said, zip, I'm too quick for you. And here's what happened on the extra point. Looks like it was partially deflected. Was it Regis in there? May have gotten a hand before it doinked. But anyway, LSU, 75-yard penalty-aided drive in 8 plays. And LSU back on top by 1. Ali, impressive play so far from Harlem Berry.
That's right. We talked to the coaches. You know, you come in this heralded from Metairie, Louisiana to a place like LSU, and they said he has no diva behavior. He is a hard worker. He's quiet, and he is really into being better every week. He's earned this start. But I actually talked to his mom before the game, Tanika. She was so excited for him to get the start. And I said, what do we need to know about your young man off the field? She said, he's a praying young man. He's out here making some really great moves so far.
He looks comfortable. You know, they told us in week 1 when we had him against Clemson what kind of talent he was. But as Holly just talked about, has worked diligently to, like any true freshman back, to get better in pass protection and understand the offense, the little nuances of it. And but they can trust him late in the year. You're seeing that.
As a pass catcher, that was natural. He caught a lot of passes in high school, but pass pros, he said that's what you really got to make sure the freshman's ready for, especially when your first start is against the defense as aggressive and as good as A&M's is. So a 2-back look. Owens and Morrow flanking Reed, who's got to bounce back from that interception that he just threw in the end zone. Handoff, right side. Owens picks up about 5.
And just think, if you're an A&M fan, it's 3rd and goal from the 3-yard line. Interception. This could be 21-9. So you have that play. Then the 3rd and 18, they stop him. Mike Elko's ready to get off the field. Dead ball, personal foul. And the very next play, a 41-yard completion to set up that LSU touchdown to give them the lead.
As expected, it's been an emotional game. There have already been some dramatic momentum shifts. Aggies trying to get something here before halftime. Got 2 timeouts and the 2-minute timeout to work with. Pressure. Reed got the ball out. Catch made on the end. Craver. Oh, Craver flashing the speed, just brought down. Picked picked up 20, but wanted to take it the distance.
And you know, he told us about playing baseball when he was a youngster. He needed it here because the shortstop background comes in handy. Nobody picks him up. That is, you see that in the NFL every single week from the greatest to do it. Marcel Reed felt that pressure, got out of the fake, kind of aborted it, and that sidearm flick to be able to get the ball out there to Craver for big yards after the catch.
And watch P.J. Woodland. If he doesn't make the tackle for LSU, that's a house call. He was the only guy between the speedy Craver and the end zone. 2-minute timeout. Really good first half here in Baton Rouge. Aggies on the march trying to retake the lead before the halftime. Halftime report coming up. The Capital One break brought to you by Capital One with Kevin Negandhi and Booger McFarland. Booger, no doubt, looking in with the alma mater. By one here. What a day in the SEC and really around the country. BYU involved in a battle with Iowa State. They'll have highlights of all of it coming up. 2 minutes for the Aggies. Ball exactly at midfield. And Reed trapped and spun down behind the line by West Weeks. Loss of 2.
Really good job at taking away the jet sweep. It's a read for Marcel Reed, and it's taken away. He decides to keep it. He wants to get underneath the guard, but Weeks was coming downhill from the snap of the ball. Assignment football sometimes against this style with Marcel Reed. He had the quarterback, and he got downhill, able to escape that guard who was pulling to pick him up.
Clock running. No hurry, the Aggies. And the ball batted in the air and intercepted. Deflected off the edge and picked off by Harold Perkins. Mansour Delane, the lockdown corner, got a piece of it, and Perkins was there. And they're charging down to the student section to celebrate.
Well, Mansour Delane, maybe one of the best transfers in the country, came over from Virginia Tech where he played nickel and some safety and corner. He's right here. We all know what kind of cover man he is, but here he shows you the timing, kind of disguising this blitz late. Really roll the dice because look how deep the safety is. If Marcel Reed gets that up and over, there's some room to run, but Halsey took that cushion away. Would have been a bang-bang play if he, in fact, got it over. But 2 great plays by LSU DBs, Halsey and Delane there, to give this Tigers defense some life and get the ball now back to their guys. See if they can get some more points.
Takeaways and back-to-back possessions. And 1 interception in the end zone to kill a threat.
Did not start on my signal.
And now this one to give LSU the ball, the plus 49. They've got 2 timeouts in 1:14.
And a veteran quarterback who knows how to handle this situation. Can they protect him? You have confidence in Nussmeier and his receivers. Will he have time with the freshman tackles?
Well, they move the pocket and get the ball quickly on the edge to Kyle Parker, who is brought down by Chappelle after about a 5-yard gain.
And Mike Elko not sitting back at all. He's not going to play soft. They bring pressure. They blitz, play straight up man-to-man. 0 coverage, no safety behind.
Second down play. Durham off the right side, still going. Caden Durham lowers his shoulder, delivers a blow, and it's into the red zone before Dalton Brooks got him.
Well, Nick Anderson, the transfer from Oklahoma, has a huge block that time, and Durham seems to have his health back. He's been hobbled and slowed in the last few games with an ankle. That time kept his balance and got down that right sideline.
You've seen the freshman Berry step up and make a big impact. They put the sophomore Durham back in there. Timeout is taken by LSU. Scoring position, try to add to this 1-point lead.
The previous play where he got out is safety Marcus Ratcliffe. He comes downhill in a hurry, and watch what happens to him when he starts to cheat down. Watch 4. Bang! Nice crack block, make the corner miss. And I think Durham getting healthy, maybe Berry getting the start as a true freshman. Here's a good look at it there. Nice job keeping his head in front, and a good shake of the corner. Will Lee block the safety, make that corner have to tackle a really good back. But like I said, Caden Durham's had an ankle. He's kind of lost his twitch. Heck is Shaq. He's fired up.
We're fired up to have Shaq and the guys on ESPN. At 28 yards for number 29. And LSU set up here with the first down.
34 seconds, the one timeout. You want to hold on to that as long as you can. Got to be smart here if you're the quarterback, Garrett Nussmeier.
Durham in motion. Nussmeier looks back to the right. And Aaron Anderson really couldn't work through Cassius Howell. The pass rusher dropped into coverage that time.
Has an option route there, and depending on the leverage, he can work to the outside or the inside. Garrett Nussmeier saw grass to the middle. And Aaron Anderson, he just kind of settled. Second time we've seen those option routes in the interior, not quite on the same page with Aaron Anderson.
A chance for Nussmeier to take a breather here, collect himself. Plenty of time on the play clock, 2nd and 10.
Moved Anderson up top.
It's Green who motions across. They run it to Durham, who darts forward and is knocked down after a 3-yard gain. Can spend a timeout here.
Brian Kelly right away wants to use that timeout.
No, the Aggies got off to a very quick start. Marcel Reed, longest touchdown run of his career, 41 yards. They jumped on top. Nussmeier and LSU would come right down and answer. Here's Green with the box out.
But Marcel Reed kept it going. The offense was in sync. Great job there of being able to hit that touchdown with Concepcion, but things started to change. Tiger Stadium in a Saturday night started to come alive. Special teams get the ball back to Nussmeier. A big touchdown and some plays that really turned the events and the vibe of this football game over the course of the second quarter.
Interceptions by Halsey and Perkins for LSU. Trying to cash in. Play that Perkins made off the carom. 3rd and 7.
Take a shot into the end zone. Or at least, the very least, you got to get the first down.
No timeouts. It's Anderson motioning back and forth. And they look short. Anderson dropped it. Probably a good thing. He really had nowhere to run at that point. And the clock would have kept ticking. They would have had to run the field goal team out quickly.
Yeah, it's almost a blessing in disguise there. Keep in mind, Aaron Anderson, he's had some injuries, a knee that's kind of hurt him this year. So just not quite in sync with his quarterback.
That was an interesting call with no timeouts, and you can tell Brian Kelly wasn't too pleased with it.
I thought they'd go vertical and get downfield.
30-yarder for Damian Ramos, who's closing in on the career record for points scored and field goals made at LSU. And he knocks it through. Boy, most of this first half, the A&M offense clicking. They seem to be in control of things, and then LSU turns it, and they're going to take a lead of 4 points into the locker room.
Like we said, it could have been very easily 21-9, but the third down interception from the 3-yard line by Reed. We've seen a lot of it. Bad snap, blocked punt, the 2 interceptions.
Turned those 2 takeaways into 9 points. Nussmeier was thinking end zone there, but didn't quite have enough time and timeouts to work with.
Any quarterback that's ever played for Brian Kelly knows you're going to have these kind of conversations. He gets very animated, gets emotional. We talked to Garrett about it. He's a coach's son, Doug, who's with the Saints right down the road and has raised him to be a mentally tough quarterback. And he said, I've been around it my whole life. I know how to handle it. But he's also a competitor, right? Out in the middle of a battle, when your coach comes up to you, you look him in the eye and you talk to him. That's what Garrett Nussmeier did there.
He's never minded tough coaching. He's gotten it really from the time he started playing football. Next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern Time, the SEC on ABC is off to Jacksonville, the game formerly known as the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. Georgia and Florida, as well as the all-new ESPN app and ABC in the afternoon. Doesn't matter what the record is. Florida's unranked, but they will hang with Georgia. You can better believe it'll be competitive.
It's always a fun game. Great scene. Boy, Marcel Reed's got to be sitting here wondering what the heck's happened. They were in complete control of this game early. The operation so clean, those first couple possessions.
And they hand it off to Owens. Owens with a quick burst to the 40. They have a couple timeouts if they want to spend them here.
Oh, yeah, you run a football there just of seeing what might happen, and you hit a crease. Now you're all the way up to the 40-yard line, so your mindset really changes. And you used that last time. You got one time out, 14 seconds. And with Marcel Reed, you could take a shot downfield, easily get into field goal range.
We talked about how Marcel Reed is so poised and components love tough environments like this, but the interception, something we really haven't seen from him. A couple of them bunched close together, back-to-back possessions.
Yeah, the one where he threw off to his left, I think he got caught predetermining. I think he thought he had a matchup that he liked, missed the safety. Now it's about, he's a young quarterback, as much upside as he has and this offense has. You got to respond to the ebb and flow and the momentum swings, especially on the road. You can't make these mistakes and expect to win on the road in any conference, especially here at Tiger Stadium at night.
Opportunity to get points, perhaps. Randy Bond needs probably about 25 yards to be in field goal range. That would make it a 52-yarder. They will get the football to begin the second half as well.
Ideally, Chris, you get this downfield, you work the boundary, try to get out of bounds, or get the first down and fire and stop the clock.
If LSU comes after them, they're showing pressure. They don't bring it, and it's a check down. Owens makes a cut. Flag is out as he's knocked down in LSU territory at the 49, down to 5 seconds.
Holding. Offense, number 55. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Monte Adams, the right guard, flagged there. So the opportunity to get points kind of dissolving with that play, that call.
He's pulling 55, pulling from the right side. Peyton, who's had a really good first half, gets up around his neck.
Obvious call. Penalties have been an issue, as we said, for the Aggies. Hasn't cost them a game yet, but that's the fourth for 45 yards. LSU penalized just once. Has not committed a turnover, so a pretty clean game so far from the Tigers. Home underdogs here, but up 4 at the break. And this resilient Aggie team will have to respond. Huge second half in last year's meeting when they scored 31 and turned it around. They'll have to come from behind again. Let's go down to Holly with Mike Elko.
Well, Coach, you've got all the momentum, and it really started to shift with that operation issue with the center snap. What happened there, and how do you fix it?
Yeah, we got to get on the same page. Obviously, we had a mistake with the snap count. Can't happen. 2 turnovers can't happen. And we got to start tackling on defense.
That was my next question. They're starting to get you a gash in the run game. How do you adjust defensively against the run?
We have to unblock players at the line of scrimmage, have to tackle.
Simple. Thank you.
Very simple.
I love his interview. Very direct. Unblocked players at the line of scrimmage have to tackle.
There we go. Ready, break.
LSU up 18-14 at the break here in Baton Rouge. Now time for the Capital One halftime report. And let's go to Kevin Nagandi and Booker McFarland. Set for the second half at Tiger Stadium. Welcome back to the SEC on ABC. Saturday Night Football. Presented by Capital One, part of an SEC all day, presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts. It's a wild day in the conference. Capped it off with what should be a dramatic second half. Chris and Kirk back with you. Aggies get the football. Down by 4, trying to get the offense going. They were clicking so crisply early.
Oh, it was incredible to be able to come on the road in this environment and execute the way they were early. But some miscues, as we've talked about, changed the momentum, and now they get a chance to start the second half and try to get it going with the football.
Bussey from the 1. And Terry Bussey breaks free. Look out. Just tackled. Touchdown saving play made on the far sidelines. Aaron Burrell, the kicker, got into position to stop Bussey, who brought it back 43 yards.
Well, he also does a good job right away, early part of the return, of just making a man miss. Toviano, 25, coming from our left, right there. He just shook him, and now you got a gap. Now you got a chance to run and use your speed. And you're right, shoestring tackle, or that one's to the house. What a way! We just talked about opportunity, change the momentum. Le'Veon Moss excited. Get this offense going and give them great field position at about their own 44.
Special teams important tonight. LSU blocking the punt for a safety. He's got a hand at a PAT, which then doinked off the upright. And now this return. Two-back look. Owens and Morrow. And Reed takes off. Marcel Reed weaving his way into the LSU secondary. Picks up 14.
Well, we'll go back just to show, just in case you're tuning into this game. Marcel Reed up 14-9. Have some miscues to an interception. Now you got a blocked punt. There's the pick on 3rd and 3 from the 3-yard line. A penalty. That's after they got off the field potentially on a 3rd and 18. And then there's the tip ball where Perkins ends up coming up with the interception. But they're off to a good start here, Chris.
Getting that two-back look. And again, they don't hand it off. Reed rolls the pocket and has to throw it on the ground. There was nobody open. Morrow was covered well in the flat.
That's a coverage sack. Really, really effective that time. It's a tough group of receivers to be able to match up with, but they did. Safety sitting in the middle, kind of leveraging the crossing route, nowhere to go with the ball. And then they do a good job not letting him escape with his athletic ability and speed. That time, doing a much better job of mirroring him to not give him that option to take off and go.
Keeps it again. Reed has the edge, makes a cut, takes a big shot inside the 35 from Jack Pyburn, just short of the marker. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Now this is the Reed. If you're the quarterback, you want to look at Pyburn. Is he collapsing down or is he sticking? He's kind of in that gray area, but Marcel Reed has such confidence in his legs. He pulled it out of there, trying to get him to declare down. Now it's a foot race to get to the edge. He's able to get around 44 and get upfield with some good blocks on the perimeter.
Pyburn had him around the waist. It was Cooley who delivered the big shot. Owens is the back on 3rd and 1. Hand off up the middle, and they do move the sticks. Holly?
Well, they want to be smart about how much they're running Marcel Reed. You're seeing him use his legs a lot tonight. He is a very slender build. He told us he weighed in on Thursday at 181 pounds. He said sometimes during the course of a game, he'll lose 7 or 8 pounds because of the sweat. And so they've got to be smart so he's not out here taking too many big blows.
Yeah, he's lean, but he's strong. 400-pound squat guy.
Been a big focus of his since he left high school to get stronger. He's got a lighter frame, but able to put some weight on.
Added some muscle in the offseason. Turning the corner is Owens, and he's tackled after ripping off a 9-yard play. That kick return set him up, and this Aggie offense kind of regaining momentum now.
Colin Klein has done a really nice job throughout this night of maintaining balance. He knows he's got a quarterback that can run. Haven't really relied on that unless it's been a scramble, but 18 runs, 19 passes. That's what makes this offense good. You commit to the run, they're going to throw it. You stay back, they got the ability to win the line of scrimmage and run.
Been a very solid offensive line. Guys who are experienced in the program. End around. Craver. Just able to tackle him at the 11-yard line after a 10-yard gain.
Working the body, kind of like body blows in the interior between the tackles. And then you go jet sweep, and instead of the big backs, you're able to get Craver out in space. And, you know, he brings the toughness, really, of both these receivers, Concepcion and Craver. They fit the culture of being portal guys. They bring a little toughness on the edge. That's not a good sign.
No, that's
Delane.
Sir Delane, one of the best players on this defense. The corner went down. He's not a guy that you'd present as injured when you're not actually injured. And that happened. Texas A&M, there was a fine actually given, but he's the guy you want on the field. You don't want him out there for one snap, especially when the Aggies are threatening. You're going to get him up and
Chris, I think he got his bell rung. I mean, he was involved where Craver was trying to run the football, where the contact was. Right there, finishing on it, and then his head, you can see it hits the surface.
So, with the corner out of the game, we'll step aside. First down for the Aggies coming up. Delane made the tackle on Craver. Watch number 4. His head hits the ground very hard.
All his momentum right into the ground. Couldn't get his hands down to protect.
He got up, Cricket tried to walk around. He knew something was wrong.
Yeah, right away. He starts to kind of, you can see him blinking. Things are a little bit blurry. Not feeling it, so he ends up taking a knee. So that's very serious. He's in the tent and out of the tent, so that's good news.
They did assess a timeout to LSU in that play. The ball was spotted before Delane went down. That's not really the intent of the emphasis of that rule. Delane's health, the obvious concern, as Amari Daniels is in the backfield on this first down play, but it's an end around again. They try it to Craver. This time coming around the corner. Big collision. Knocked out short of the pylon by A.J. Halsey.
That was a foot race with the corner, P.J. Woodland, who ran with him in man coverage on that jet sweep. Sees it, it's man. He knows he's got a chance. He is fleet-footed. Gets some good blocks, man, downfield, but eventually gets pushed out of bounds by Halsey. But we've seen here these last 2 or 3 plays, Colin Klein wants to get the ball out on the perimeter. Make those DBs have to tackle.
Like he'd love to punch it in here. Remember, there was the interception in the end zone after the Aggies were set up in a similar situation in that second quarter.
Jakeem Jackson in up the top there.
On the edge, no play. There's a whistle before the snap. Bethel Roman ended up with the ball, but the whistle had blown before the pass was thrown, and it's a false start.
Offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty.
No foregone conclusions down here, are there?
It's Crownover who makes this mistake. Another mistake for Texas A&M. We just talked about the young corner coming in. They go trips and look at a couple defenders. They jump here. Miscommunication, wide open target there. So LSU catches a break.
2nd and 6. The first down markers at the 1. Run all the way. And Reed's going to be knocked down at the 5 by Halsey, who's making play after play for this defense.
Not fooled at all by emptying out the backfield, had the tight ends. You got 6 blockers, but LSU eyes on Marcel Reed, the threat of the quarterback draw. They're ready for it.
9th play of this drive. Settle for a chip shot, or can they punch it in and take the lead?
Well, if you want to win in here, you got to finish these red zone opportunities with touchdowns.
From the pocket, Reed scrambling and scoring. 2nd rushing touchdown for the Aggie quarterback. A&M back on top.
That's 7, man.
Tell Harold Perkins is sitting in there at linebacker, and he's got to spy Marcel Reed. Everybody in this stadium, everybody watching at home, you and I talking here, it's like, okay, they're going to either throw it or Marcel Reed's going to scramble. And you better be ready for him when he does take off to scramble. And they were not.
He's played a variety of positions. They had him at the star. They thought it was a good spot for him, but after the Vanderbilt loss, moved him back to weak side linebacker. Perkins flag out on the PAT. Bond knocked him through. It's going to be offsides on LSU, so they can decline it, and the lead will be 3.
Outside. Number 0 of the defense. That penalty is declined. The try is good.
Well, A&M responds. Let's look at this big play. And this is what you have to be able to eliminate, is the threat of the quarterback run. Watch Perkins get depth. Look at his eyes aren't even on Marcel Reed. You see a couple receivers together. That's kind of a blunder. But now there's nowhere to go with the football. So what is he going to do? Of course he's going to trust his feet. They never really let him down. He sees an opening. Nobody accounting for him until it's too late by 7 and white. That's a touchdown.
If his job was to be the spy, is the worst spy ever.
Yeah, right.
He was, as you said, peeking inside and then retreated into the end zone.
Yeah, in his eyes, he's looking at crossing routes. He's not even really thinking at all.
That's not a spot level spy.
No. But Marcel Reed, great poise on that 9-play, 56-yard drive to get this second half started.
Zirkle booted away. It's going to be Brown from the 4. Darian Brown spinning free, finally knocked down about the 23. Holly?
Well, Coach Kelly told me that Barry and Brown, that big completion in the first half, has really opened up their offense. Because they have to protect downfield, now they're able to run the football a little bit better. Also, Garrett Nussmeier, you saw him get a little bit more injured in the first half. That left ab injury just below his belly button. They are able to do some things at halftime to help him. Some topical numbing cream, put some more padding on, massage. But Coach Kelly said it best. He's our guy. If we have to put him together with glue or tape, we're going to do it because he wants to be out there. He's so tough.
There's no shortage of want to or toughness. You have to see how he throws the ball, though, Kirk. If he's re-aggravated that ab injury, that can affect your velocity and your accuracy. Barry for 3.
Boy, LSU fans have to be thinking, are you serious with Marcel Reed? Last year he ran for 3 touchdowns, didn't have an answer for him when he was using his feet. Tonight, leading the Aggies in rushing, averaging almost 10 yards a carry with 2 touchdowns.
Different kind of runs, right? Last year was the zone read.
It was more design. This time it's
kind of freelance.
Yeah, this time it's more backyard ball, just creating a lot of times on 3rd down.
From the pocket, Nussmeier on 2nd down. Long throw to the sideline. It's going to be broken up by Des Ricks, who stepped in front of Brown that time. 3rd and 7 now.
I think Brown did a nice job of selling this up at the top like he's going vertical. He's going to go by and puts his brakes on, but good job of reacting by Des Ricks, who's out there on that island. Looks like he may have had that right hand just on the ball to keep it away from Brown.
Well, those coaches love those corners that have long arms like Ricks does. And they protect Nussmeier. And he's going to be brought down at the line. Once again, a pass rush. That's DJ Hicks this time, and it's 4th down.
There are a lot of great defensive minds out there, but Mike Elko, I think, is as good as there is on 3rd down in college football. Walks everybody up like you see. Now it's a matter of just dropping. They're rushing 4. But the offensive line with 2 freshmen at tackle, they're completely confused. It's not one guy, it's the entire pocket collapses on top of Nussmeier. They're now 0 for 6 on 3rd down against Elko.
And no surprise, they've been tough all year. Chadwick with a big boot. Concepcion backed up all the way to the 23 and breaks free. Look out, KC Concepcion still running. They're not going to catch him. KC Concepcion. Touchdown, A&M, 79 yards. The return game, a huge part for A&M here in the 3rd quarter.
Wow. You know how gifted he is. Transferred from North Carolina State. Marcel Reed knows, big smile on his face. He's a receiver. But he really, his entire career in Raleigh and now in what he's doing at College Station, he's a running back that plays wide receiver with that kind of skill set.
Well, both teams have made huge plays on special teams, but that's the biggest special teams play tonight. And A&M, a couple of touchdowns here in the first part of the 3rd quarter to go up by 10.
You mentioned a big return to get the 2nd half started on the kickoff. That's just making a guy miss. That's not great blocks. Now you got some blocks, and now the instincts just take over. He's so gifted and so natural. A&M has come out with a different attitude here in this 2nd half.
Who's bringing the heat? Brought to you by Sonic, and it's KC Concepcion had a touchdown in his first game as an Aggie against UT San Antonio. This one much more important.
Yeah, a couple of tackles he's able to break, but like I said, he's so close to that sideline and so comfortable with the football in his hands, always has been. See the reactions from LSU. Brian Kelly throwing the headset, just furious. A&M return yards tonight. Think of this. He is a bad man. He sure is. A&M return yards, 161. LSU total offense, 185.
Talked about the connection Holly did between Reed and Concepcion. Each of them had 2 touchdowns tonight. LSU with Barry and Brown dancing around. A flag comes in as he's dropped at the 16. Suddenly, Kirk, this is a 10-point deficit for an offense that has struggled frequently this year to create big plays. It's going to be a holding, so it'll be half the distance.
During the return, holding, 46 receiving team. Just half the distance to the goal. First down.
And just like last year, LSU had the lead at the break, and then A&M dramatically and drastically turning things around in the third quarter with a couple of touchdowns.
There's the hold right there, right in front of us.
Kylan Singleton, backup linebacker.
Well, great teams, they respond to adversity. We've seen A&M respond when that first half got away from them. LSU, things looking a little bleak. Now the holding call moves them back all the way to the 7-yard line. How are they going to respond? Great teams respond.
Nussmeier, high throw, and catch made. Tackle immediately made by Ricks.
Get into these conference games, especially late October into November. There's injuries, there's momentum swings. It's the team that just kind of keeps their head steady and keeps grinding through those tough times. It's usually going to be the team that wins.
Versus A&M, one remaining undefeated team in the SEC. LSU with a couple of losses, 2-2 in the conference, cannot afford a third. Pitch incomplete on the sidelines, Kirk. So there's urgency in this game, but also urgency with all the hopes and dreams and goals of this football team. Preseason top 10 team.
Yeah. And this is it for them, too. If you're thinking about those big dreams, this is Anderson trying to did he get a foot down? It's at least worth a look. He completed the process of the catch. Watch this, Chris. Did the right foot stay down? Whoa! I hope they take a look at that.
Control right there. He's got 2 hands on it. The foot is on the ground.
Surprised they're not going to buzz down.
LSU in no hurry to run a play, giving the replay booth time. Not going to buzz it. Goes through 3rd and 4 here. Quickly on the edge. Anderson spins free. Fights hard. It's going to be tricky to spot.
And they're moving the sticks. That's their
first down.
That's their first conversion on 3rd down the entire night. Knew that would be a big matchup. There's the line to gain, the progressive pylon cam, kind of nonchalantly. They're on the boundary, but they gave him the yards for the first down, so they finally convert.
Had to have that, at least to get the drive going here. Xavier Thomas in motion. They hand it to him. It's a little wrinkle as he looked like he was going to be headed behind the quarterback to the far side. Stop. Albert Regis wasn't fooled.
This defensive line, they have depth. They are able to get upfield here, kind of set the edge. Inside there, Chris mentioned Albert Regis kind of blows it up from the inside. And then Howell, who's having a great year, his 2nd year with the Aggies, and a great night, sets that edge. Boy, Howell is a player off the edge, 9.
Green comes in motion. Barry is the back on the 2nd and 10. Fake it to him. Nussmeier steps up, flips it far side over the head of Aaron Anderson, who is tightly covered by Chappelle, but had to be a perfect throw that time.
Yeah, he tried to go up and over against man coverage, put a little touch on it. It's tough to do to a shorter receiver at 5'8". Look on your far left. There's Howell. Yeah, we knew that these young freshmen, a true freshman on the left, and Kern, and a redshirt freshman on the right, and Davis would need help. And when they're on islands, boy, they got their hands full against Howell and company.
Can they go back-to-back on 3rd down after not making one all night? This time they need 10.
That's 6 guys walked up, bringing a 7th.
Pressure comes. He had to hurry to throw, and the catch is made along the near sidelines. Good grab there by Xavier Thomas, but he's short on 4th down. Kelly doesn't want to punt it away. They need 2. Down 10 midway through.
They're going to punt it.
Here comes the punt.
Look at his throw. I thought that was going to be an incompletion. Great catch. Terrific throw. but is short.
What do you think? You know what the fans think? They're booing with the punter coming out.
I mean, it's not 4th and a half a yard or a yard. It's still a 10-point game, third quarter. If you go for it, you don't make it, everybody's ready to fire you. I mean, you can't go for that here.
Don't mention fire around here. And I'm not talking about flames. A lot of fans have used that word. And ball will roll dead. There's a flag down on the far side of the field. It's a good long punt that rolled dead at the 21. Now we'll check the marker.
Illegal formation, kicking team, more than 4 in the backfield, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
May want to make them kick it again after that big bounce. And they've got about 15 yards on that bounce. And again, that's a unforced error. Just a guy that's not lined up on the line of scrimmage. So you get an illegal formation. Think about the night that Brian Kelly and his special teams, what they dealt with. They did block a punt for a safety, but it's been some tough moments for the special teams.
Missed extra point. Big kickoff return to start this half. Then Bussey set him up.
Punt return for touchdown.
The punt return by Concepcion. So it's been special teams issues piling up rapidly. Bussey is back deep. This kick is not nearly as good. And it's off his chest. Scramble for it. A&M says they retain possession. Kind of came up on this very short high punt, bounced right off the numbers. Looks like Bravian Rogers for the Aggies may have made them the saving recovery. Still trying to unpile.
Yeah, there were two guys that had the ball simultaneously. And you got both sides saying, we got it.
Some serious lobbying. Pyburn and Bethel Rowan having some fun.
That's just one of those where you're just wrestling underneath the pile.
James Carter trying to sort things out.
Texas A&M.
So A&M does avoid the muff punt there. And LSU, remember that ball rolled dead down at the 21-yard line. That 5-yard penalty is going to make about a 30-yard difference in field position. Aggies back to work, up 10. Now, the normally rowdy LSU student section, always contenders for the Taco Bell Live Moss Student Section of the Year contest. A little gloomy right now.
This is a make or break moment for LSU and their defense with A&M starting in midfield. Cannot afford to get down 17.
Already 2 touchdowns by the Aggies here in the third quarter. Reed looking for more. Takes off. Look, he's great from the pocket and all that. He's improved as a passer. He wants that to be his calling card. But when things break down, he says he also loves his backyard football.
I'm not comparing him to Lamar Jackson. I'm just saying that the stop and go, you know, he's a great basketball player. We talked with him this week. I've known him since elementary school. He's a great baseball player, too. But he has that, his favorite sport is basketball. He has that point guard kind of feel when he steps up, climbs the pocket, and he's making people miss. He's just so at ease with that part of his game.
We were asking, do you think he could score for the Aggies basketball team? Oh, yeah. I think I get 12, 14 a game as a point guard. A lot of football players think they can hoop.
Yeah, he went to Montgomery Bell Academy where my boys went, and he was one of these guys that as a freshman, he was dominating. He's a point guard, but he can really shoot. And you know, the vision on the basketball floor really helps you out, I think, as a quarterback. But right there, that's what he's doing tonight. You know, that crossover, that shake and bake, making people miss, whether it's basketball as a point guard on the break or playing quarterback. It's the same thing.
Need 2 on third down. Owens. Flag comes in. Plenty of yards for the first down inside the 35, but that's in the area where you suggest it's holding. Actually, it's being signaled holding against LSU's defense as Owens limps off.
During the run, holding. Defense, number 88. That's a 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Gooden was fighting through a double team, and in the process of that, grabbing on to an A&M offensive lineman. His coach talking to KC Concepcion, making sure he's He's good to go.
Went into the medical tent after that punt return for a touchdown, which is why Bussey was out there for that last return, which he muffed.
And remember, Le'Veon Moss obviously out. Oh, he stepped right there on KC Concepcion and then went down himself.
Concepcion had the ankle check. Morrow houses it. Aggies pulling away, 24-yard touchdown. And A&M, just like last year, dominating Kelly's team after the break.
You know, sometimes in man-to-man coverage, we always think about the receivers and the corners. I think A&M and Colin Klein, they came into this game knowing that they could attack LSU in the interior in man coverage. Blake Baker plays a lot of man. He leaves his linebackers out there, whether it's Perkins or Whit Weeks. That time they got him isolated, and that is now 21 unanswered points if they hit this extra point.
21 points in 11 minutes here in the third quarter. You said it was a little gloomy coming in, some pessimism on the fan base, and now, Kirk, we're noticing a few empties over there on the far sideline.
Yeah,
it's increased now.
Watch Morrow. He was a very natural receiver, and there's just no coverage. There's nobody out there. You know, I don't know if LSU got confused. You did have another jet motion to affect the eyes, a little eye candy, but he's out there, and linemen have no one to block. Forget about tackling him. The linemen have no one to block until Perkins comes over late.
So Reed is now thrown for 2, run for 2.
Just can't help about Brian Kelly telling us on our Zoom this week, we were too tentative against Vandy. You know, we challenged our guys this week. Turn it loose. Play free.
Play nasty. Those some scuffles on the practice field. He liked what he saw. They were showing that aggressiveness, that nasty edge. And they did have a 4-point lead at halftime, but
look at their turn it to
back.
Whit Weeks, who's not playing tonight, he's seen enough. He wants them to compete. Just compete. Let's go. Stands are empty in here. It's very strange.
Yeah, he said the blanking embarrassing. You could see what he said to his teammates there. Well, the All-State bus. Sam piloting things here to Baton Rouge. It's the All-State good hands play.
Let's talk about the last 11 minutes. Texas A&M, they really responded. Marcel Reed with a good scramble for a touchdown. KC Concepcion to the house, breaking a few tackles. A little sidearm fling on a screen. A bust by LSU. And A&M is taking complete control of this football game.
31 points in the second half last year, 21 so far. We're still 4 minutes in the third quarter. Serious urgency. Quick pitch in the perimeter to Berrien Brown. A&M will give him that stuff at this point.
Oh, yeah. Keep everything in front. You don't want to give up any explosives, but I'm still just in shock that LSU's defense, 5 plays tonight of 20 yards or more they've allowed for a couple touchdowns. You throw in the big punt return for touchdowns. A lot of explosives. If you're an A&M fan, you got to love to see this from this offense and your special teams.
Nobody got more than 24 points in the first 6 games of the year. Vanderbilt put 31 on them last week. The Aggies now at 35 and counting. The LSU defense had kept this team in every game, even when the offense was struggling. But as you said, Kelly trying to change things up tonight has not produced instant results.
Not at all. Now they're at another 3rd and long. Averaging about over 10 yards every 3rd down, and they're 1 of 8 against Mike Elko, who's one of the best at dialing up and creating confusion for an offensive line in pass pro.
Showing pressure. They bring it, and Green, the target there, tackled immediately by Scooby Williams, who's been getting healthy, rejoining the A&M defense the last couple of weeks, and his 4th down.
So they walk 8 guys up, and you know they show this sometimes that they'll bring it, but you get a motion, and watch, look at the eyes already. He's already locked in. I got him. No miscues, no mistakes, so it's complex, and it's a lot for an offensive line and a quarterback to deal with, and yet look at the execution on the other side by Texas A&M and their defense. Good job of finishing and good awareness by Scooby Williams, the backer.
Now they're booing, and there's also some chanting we could hear as Concepcion is back in the game, fields the punt again. Look out, KC Concepcion dancing and weaving, still going. They couldn't bring him down, runs out of tackles, and is going to be stopped inside the LSU 35. That will only increase the volume level of these boos.
I think the most impressive thing I'm watching with Texas A&M, they got a good lead, 35-18. This is more about A&M for me than LSU. They have their foot on the gas. They aren't even thinking of being conservative with the lead. They got guys that, you hear that term dogs? That's what these guys have. Led by Marcel Reed, KC Concepcion, a veteran defense now in their second year in this system of Mike Elko, and a frustrated Brian Kelly. But I got news for LSU. A&M is not looking to slow down.
It was a line drive punt that Kelly was talking about. The hang time just 3.5 seconds. Concepcion continues the theme here. A&M's return game. Hey, been a massive story after halftime.
I'd go play action and take a shot. You got LSU right now on the ropes, mentally not sharp. I'd take a shot here.
Quarterback keeper. Reed dangerous anytime he's got the ball in his hands. Halsey knocks him down.
See, he's frustrated here.
It's the punter, Chadwick.
Yeah, talking about the line drop, not getting up in the air.
Well, the tackling was a bigger issue, too. Yes, it was a low kick, but they had 4 or 5 chances to tackle
him. Yeah, really on both his big returns. He's a tough physical runner, low center of gravity, tough to bring down.
Using the play clock now. And zips it across the middle. Pass was behind Craver that time. Made a nice catch. Picked up 5 yards for a first down.
Kind of a deja vu for A&M. Marcel Reed comfortable, plenty of time to be able to make a good read. You remember last year, A&M outscored LSU 31-6 in the second half.
Yep.
Tonight so far, 21-0. That's 52-6 in the last 3 quarters, or 2.5 quarters, almost 3.
14 second half yards for the LSU offense. Daniels, quick burst down to the 15. This is a kind of a not an electric play. You said go for the jugular. They may do so, but they're doing it methodically here, using up clock.
LSU came in tonight 5-2. You see at the bottom right, 2-2 in conference play. And with a new 12-team playoff, as frustrated as they were about losing to Vandy, it was still in front of them. Still an opportunity to rally, get them to believe. And now you're down 35-18 to a quarterback and an offense that's in control of this game.
Hand off. Daniels around the left side, knocked out of bounds at the 2-yard line. DJ Pickett knocked him out after a 13-yard gain. This seems inevitable that A&M's going to punch it in and turn the lights out here.
No doubt. Halsey, who's a great player, is coming down from this spot at safety, but again, just not at the spot, not setting the edge. And that's your best player, your best tackler, leading tackler, who's coming down with that job. He kind of got his eyes and his nose inside and opened up that outside lane for Daniels to make a run, get the corner.
Complete dominance in the third quarter, which began with that second half kickoff return. 3 touchdowns for the Aggies. They're on the doorstep for a 4th, with the 4th quarter coming up. Back after this message, and we're your local ABC stations. You're watching the SEC on ABC. Welcome back to the 4th quarter here in Baton Rouge, the SEC on ABC. Aggies have taken over.
You don't see that.
That's the fighting Texas Aggie band down there waving the towels. Fans all over this place. Beginning to become more obvious because the LSU fans have headed home, some of them.
It's an LSU team at night, 20-1 under Brian Kelly, Tiger Stadium. About to be 20-2.
1994, the last time A&M won in this place. That was the last time they also started 7-0.
Well, this team feels different. They have all year. You and I have seen the best of the best this year. These guys can play with anybody in the country.
E.J. Smith down near the goal line, spotted short. Alabama and A&M still undefeated in conference play. But the Aggies, the last undefeated team in the SEC. They have the looks of a team that's not going to lose anytime soon.
No, and again, I got to just talk about the intangibles of this team that Marcel Reed brings to this offense. A veteran offensive line. Concepcion comes over. Craver. They're very focused. They have intention. Every little detail, they're locked in. They're not even concerned about the score. It's a veteran team.
Tight ends shifting around. And they hand it off to one of them in the backfield. Flag is down. Orchestra, the tight end there, took the handoff, and he was excited about scoring as a running back. See if they're going to get backed up 5. Or did LSU line up offside?
Yeah, lined up in the neutral zone.
How many guys are out there? That's a lot of guys.
There are 2 fouls on the defense. Both will be declined. Offside, number 88 defense. Illegal substitution. 12 players in the formation against the defense. Both of those fouls are declined. The result of the play was a touchdown.
It's like what else? Remember we talked about unforced errors? You know, the illegal formation, 12 men on the field, miscommunication.
Blake Baker giving the explanation. So they had 12 guys out there. They lined up in the neutral zone, and they gave up a touchdown to a tight end who just went diving over like a fullback.
Hasanis, 71, 29th start. You see that good block there. Eye candy with the motion. Colin Klein, the play caller, had a heck of a night himself.
Texas A&M with the flex here in Baton Rouge tonight. Headed for 8-0. Can they bleed clean all the way to the SEC championship game? Maybe we'll talk about that. College Station East here, perhaps in Baton Rouge. Aggies doing their thing. Swing at the end of the third quarter.
LSU doing their thing there in the middle, too.
What did Johnny Manziel say in our tees before? We know all about Death Valley at night. We're going to come there and make it our house.
Absolutely. Johnny, I know all the Aggs proud of this effort tonight.
Check in with Kevin Negandhi.
Chris, the Chick-fil-A move on the field. It's Tennessee's offense led by Joey Aguilar. He has 3 touchdowns versus Kentucky so far. This one 62 yards to Mike Matthews. All volunteers on the SEC Network, 49-21. Back to you and Kirk.
Well, it was kind of gloomy earlier. Now it's the ornery, I would say, was with the fan attitude is here in Baton Rouge. Celebratory if you're an Aggie. Nussmeier on the move, on the run, hits Aaron Anderson, who scoots out. Big gain near midfield, got 22.
They're able to get him out away from the pressure. He's been harassed most of the night, whether it's been third down creativity of Mike Elko and Jay Bateman, the defensive coordinator, are just winning with 4. The time rolled him away and got the first down.
Tried to find Anson on the slant. He was very well covered.
This Texas A&M team, man, people need to start talking more about them, not just in the SEC, but on a national.
What impresses you most?
I think they sent a message. The execution coming into this environment, but Mike Elko has a veteran, crusty, focused, determined team. Both sides of the ball, special teams, good leadership. These guys show up. It's all business. They're as good as anybody, in my opinion, the way they're playing right now, that there is in the country.
Nussmeier, he's going to be sacked all the way back to the 30. That's Rylan Kennedy who backs up Howell joining the party and slow to get up. 16-yard loss.
And actually pressure from both sides. He's going up against a tight end. This is a tough ask, right? Bauer Sharp trying to block a defensive end. Both the defensive ends get home, but it's Kennedy that comes up with that big sack. Remember, they didn't blitz there. They rushed 4. Hayes on one side, Kennedy on the other. That shows you the depth they have. That's their 3rd and 4th defensive end. Getting after it.
3rd and 26. Good luck. Nussmeier from the pocket. Too high. And he's knocked down again after the throw.
Absolute mismatch in this second half at the line of scrimmage.
He's been knocked around a lot this year. He's played through numerous injuries, still bothering him tonight. And that emotional release and tears with the towel over his head after the loss last week, but still came back, bouncing around, feeling like everything was still in front of him if they can get the W tonight. And it's turned into a nightmare in the second half. 4 punts, 3 and outs forced by this A&M defense in the 3rd quarter and now early in the 4th. Quarterback comparison brought to you by Dr. Pepper. Marcel Reed, the first 100-yard rushing game of his career, 11 for 102 and a couple of touchdowns. Had that 41-yard run early. As a passer, 12 of 21. Did have the 2 interceptions, but bounced back from that. 2 touchdowns. And Nussmeier has battled. He's been beaten up, knocked down a lot, sacked 4 times now. They just haven't been able to keep pace with the Aggies after the break. Smith, a short gain.
You know, Texas A&M, if you go back to last season, Marcel Reed really showed what he could do with his legs against this LSU defense. And what he's been able to do tonight, it hasn't been the way last year went with his own redesigned QB stuff. This has been a lot of him taking off and going and challenging the defense and eye discipline on that 2nd and 3rd level and making people miss. Look at that, 40. Going back to last year, 40 or more in 4 straight road games, longest streak in school history.
To your point, Kirk, 67 those 102 rushing yards have been on scrambles, so not design runs at all. Smith inside. It's going to be the 4th consecutive game where LSU's given up huge rushing yards to a quarterback. Holly?
Well, Marcel Reed has so much charisma. His offensive coordinator, Colin Klein, said he's infectious the way he impacts our team. They spent a lot of time in the offseason tweaking what they do offensively to match his skill set. He said, don't let his happy-go-luckiness fool you. This young man has depth. He comes into my office 2 times a week for extra film study with me. He is deep. He's competitive. He thinks the game because of his father's long coaching, and this is a really locked-in, dialed-in young man who has that riz, as the kids love to call it. The charisma is infectious.
He does. On 3rd down, he's going to keep it, and he's going to be tackled short of the 1st down. Play made on the edge by Jamari Butler. 4th down now.
Yeah, again, I used to, you know, my kids went to elementary school with this guy. I'd go to the pickup line after school, and he was just a guy that had that personality. It wasn't just he's got skill. It's what Holly's talking about, and it's both his parents, by the way. His dad's a football coach. His mom runs the show. And so I think it's a mixture of mom and dad. But his composure, what I keep bragging about with this A&M team is the focus, the seriousness, the urgency, and the intangibles that they have as a team. And 10, I think, really helps set the tone with his approach.
You know, the play clock was going to expire before the punt from Tyler White, whose only previous punt tonight was blocked through the end zone for a safety.
There he is, still talking. You got this big lead. He's still communicating. I definitely need to talk about Mike Elko, because we're talking a lot about these players, and we should, but it's a guy in his 2nd year that's really changed the culture for the better with accountability, work ethic, all the stuff that you talk about and hope to have. They have it. And after this big win on the road against a top 20 team, look at this. They go to Missouri. Missouri just, their quarterback's down with an injury. That's a different game on the road. South Carolina having a tough year. That's at home. Not sure who that one is.
That would be Samford.
Okay, whatever. And then you got Texas. And then you go to Texas in a rivalry game on Black Friday. So they're going to be heavily favored. That 36 needs to be looked at. I don't know if I agree with that. Home or away.
I would agree. Texas very, very lucky to escape Starkville with a victory. I like the chances against Sam, though. In that third.
I had nothing for Sam. I got everything else. I got nothing on Sam.
That's the virtual bye week in the SEC when they all just take a timeout.
I was like, I was good. Sam.
He's good.
Silver.
He's really good.
Yeah, he is.
Take a break.
What do you have for us?
A 10.5 to play here in Baton Rouge. The Aggies, they can win a low-score grinder if they have to. Did it against Auburn. They could also win shootouts. Won a couple of shootouts this year over Notre Dame and last week against Arkansas. And now this is just a rout. They're routinely putting 40-plus on the board in the road.
These guys, man, they 42-18. It's 0-0 to this defense, to this entire team. It's a great point about how they can go either way. If it's a game that wants to go tempo and they got to score 40, they can go that way. If it needs to be a low-scoring field position game, they got the defense and special teams to play in that style too.
No face mask called on the tackle by Scooby Williams that time. 2nd and 9. I agree. These guys the game is salted away, but they're playing hard down.
When teams get a lead, I feel like you look how they're paying attention on the sideline. Like, these are the cool things to watch when a team's up 42-18. Easily could be over there clowning around, acting just like thinking about whatever. Did you see me in that second quarter? These dudes are completely locked in on what's going on the field and on the sideline. Culture, Mike Elko.
Pass underneath up by Johnson. You're right, a lot of teams have been over there high-fiving their fans because the Aggie fans have moved down behind their bench or taunting LSU fans.
Taunting,
none of the above.
Maybe finding your parents or whatever. You could be easily distracted, but it's just not the case. And again, we've got to give Mike Elko a lot of credit, but also the leadership of the players. They really set the tone.
Macarius Kern, we talked about the true freshman stepping in to make the start at tackle. It's been a tough night again for that O-line, and he is now being looked at by the athletic trainers. The Aggie defense has really stepped up after halftime. This was an early sack by Howell, sending a message.
Well, it's been an entire group. Here the backup, right? It's Rylan Kennedy that's able to get in there, giving them some different looks. Done a nice job of confusing that offensive line. They've brought some pressure, disguised some pressure. They've rushed 4 times. It's been a mixed look like you'd expect, and very, very successful, obviously, here in the second half.
Absolutely nothing after halftime for the LSU offense. Holly?
Well, Cassius Howell has been a game wrecker tonight. You've seen him all over, like you guys were just talking about. Wanted to talk about his development. He came in from Bowling Green as a transfer, but he has gotten better. He has increased his top speed by 17%. His vertical jump has increased by 7 inches. His bench press by 50 pounds. The squat has gone up as well. Every aspect of his game, from speed, get off, what he knows about the IQ part of the game, this young man has improved exponentially, and it's showing up on the play.
That's a great point, Holly. You can find, he came from Bowling Green. The MAC has produced some guys who maybe out of high school were underappreciated, but they've really developed in their stop of the MAC, and then when they make the bounce in the portal to a higher profile program is really elite pass rushers.
Oh, man. And, he's known really for his power, not so much his twitch, but we've seen plenty of twitch tonight against these freshman tackles.
LSU going for it on 4th and 4. Nussmeier makes the long throw. Green makes the catch, but he's going to be stopped short. Des Ricks came up, hit him immediately, and the Aggies will take over on downs.
Chris, you're going to love this. A little bit of kind of a switch release, and watch the communication with the 2 defensive backs. Just you take him, I'll take the outside, you go with the inside. Good job of adjusting and communicating and then finishing the play by Des Ricks. Look at that. They switch on the fly. That is a hard thing to do in college football, to be able to make sure that you're on the same page in a blink of an eye. They clearly were. It's something they rep all week, and it pays off from there on that 4th down.
Ricks has had to bounce back. He had that penalty, that dead ball personal foul, which prolonged that LSU drive. Then he got beat for a touchdown, but he has stayed in the game. The starters, by the way, were still on the field largely for the A&M defense. Reed still out there and still running. I don't know if you'd want to have Marcel Reed taking hits at this point in the game. Does pick up 4. National presenting the rankings to Ohio State off. Indiana with another UCLA.
Again, they just show up. Another team that just kind of shows up and executes and takes care of business. Bama had a scare, but they were able to pull one out. Ole Miss in a competitive game, really in control most of that game on the road in Norman.
Georgia Tech challenged early, but stayed undefeated.
Chris, I don't know how good LSU is. I mean, it's easy to look at this and say, oh, they had the lead, by the way. They had the lead in the first half. And it's easy to look at this score now and say, oh, this isn't a good football team. A&M took this game over. I think A&M really sent a message to the nation tonight that number 3 ranking is very, very deserving with the way they played all year. And then, that continues tonight here in Baton Rouge.
I agree. The win at Notre Dame was certainly a statement victory.
This feels different, doesn't it? That was just getting it done, showing maturity on the road. This is just
comprehensive. Very, very tough-minded team.
Absolutely. You know, we 15. Chris, in the era of portal and NIL, it's tough to get everybody to buy in and care and compete together regardless of what the score is. We saw Ohio State do that last year after they lost to Michigan, got on that 4-game run. 2 years ago, we saw a veteran Michigan team stick together through some very difficult circumstances off the field. This A&M team has that kind of vibe about them, that maturity and that focus that it takes to make a run throughout an entire season into the postseason.
You know, the motto has been finish. They didn't like the way the season finished last year. Remember, they were playing for a bid in the SEC championship game. They had the Longhorns at home, and the renewal of that old rivalry did not get the job done. Didn't like the way that it finished. This is a bunch that is not going to let up at all. You saw the All-State playoff predictor. That's Besantis, by the way. The left guard is down. 94% chances of virtual lock. That means that for them not to make it, they're going to have to stumble a couple of times as big favorites.
Think about their schedule and who they have left. I mean, we showed it to you earlier. I mean, they got winnable games remaining.
Get a bye, and then Missouri. Again,
Missouri's quarterback looks like
out.
He's out. South Carolina, your Samford team, and then at Texas. We keep talking about who's going to Atlanta. You have all these teams. Who's going to get to Atlanta? Hard to really look at Texas A&M and think that they're not going to be one of those teams in Atlanta. It's almost who's going to be playing Texas A&M in Atlanta is maybe the new question.
Alabama rallied at South Carolina. They're still undefeated in the SEC. The Aggies would join them at 5-0 atop the conference. They'd certainly be the two teams in co-pole position for that.
Bama, since their loss to Florida State early, like you're saying, they continue to get better and better with Ty Simpson.
Cut back, spinning and scoring. Jamarian Morrow joins the party with a touchdown for a true freshman.
I mean, you got 5 backs when Moss is healthy. Kind of an embarrassment of riches, and every single guy, when he gets a chance, he's competing for carries. All of these guys, when Moss is there, Owens, Daniels, Morrow, who you just saw, E.J. Smith, Holly Rowe right there in the middle of it, enjoying that. That's it. Trooper Taylor said, I told you.
Well,
I told you, Holly.
It's going to be 35 points in the second half after the PAT to follow the 31 points a year ago. Morrow, Reed, and Concepcion, 2 touchdowns each tonight. He just kind of walked in.
Yeah, this is a beaten down LSU defense. Game's gotten away from them. Tackling's not been real good here lately. There's Marcel Reed, by the way, caught up.
Can certainly celebrate the Aggies. The night belongs to them, but this guy and this LSU team is another part of the story.
Yep.
Because Les Miles once said, Death Valley is where opponents' dreams come to die. That's been true over the years. LSU's dreams died here tonight, though, the home team with their 3rd loss.
And Chris, think about what could have been when this season started. We had them week 1.
Yep.
On the road, remember, it was a battle of the Death Valleys against Clemson. Nussmeier coming back, went into the portal, spent a lot of money, had some great players. They beat Clemson. Here we go. Now we go. It's the new year. And since then, they've lost to Ole Miss. Last week to Vandy. And tonight, getting blown out by Texas A&M at home on a Saturday night.
And it's off to Tuscaloosa, by the way, next game. In the meantime, it's going to get loud and ugly around here with the narrative. Alabama really had to escape. They were down 8, scored, got a 2-point conversion, and then won it in overtime.
You knew that one was going to be tricky after playing 4 straight ranked teams. This was basically an elimination game. Give Lane Kiffin and his team a lot of credit. The offense you know about with Trinidad Chambliss. The defense with Pete Golding made some critical plays against John Mateer. And what a day in Nashville. Started with game day. They had their hands full against a good Mizzou team, but they get it done. And Texas, what a story, right?
Yeah, Ryan Niblett had a punt return in Red River, had a 79-yarder to basically get it even, and then they won it in overtime. Arch Manning left the game hurt in OT. We'll have to see what the severity of that is. I don't think it's too bad. Well, they made a tough night for Nussmeier. He will now exit. That's enough punishment. He'll be, again, frustrated by this result. You can see building on what's happened the last few weeks. Michael Van Buren, one time a Mississippi State starter, comes in there and finds Trey'Dez Green, who catches it in stride out near midfield.
Well, that's right off the bench. Comes in for Garrett Nussmeier. Finds the big tight end at 6'7" in the seam. Gets it over top of the safety who came down, and that's right off the bench for Van Buren Jr.
Bench all year. This is the 2nd game that he's played.
Through an absolute strike.
And now gets welcomed to the game by that pass rush.
Well, they moved DJ Chester, who's could play center or guard. They move him out on the edge. It's been a long night for these whoever's lined up there to play tackle.
Has 6th sack by the Aggies.
There's Marco Jones getting around the edge. It's not one guy, right? I mean, you're seeing everybody get involved. There's Weeks trying to console his buddy.
Van Buren on the move, zips it across the middle, and the catch is made by Hilton. No, obviously a very passionate fan base. When they're winning, les la bon temps brûlé, let the good times roll on the bayou. When they're not, their passion turns to anger, frustration. They want to change everything, including the coach.
Oh, and he signed a 10-year, $95 million contract in 21. He's got a buyout for $53 million, so I don't, is that even, I mean, besides the fans and the noise, is that even, it's not real, right?
Well, the decider matters more than the talk show hosts and the blogs, but you know,
I think it's going to get loud this week, right?
It'll be loud, very loud.
Louder.
Buyouts have not necessarily been something that prevents teams from making a move. Brian Kelly had a bit of concern. I think he really believes that, you know, that they've got a great recruiting class lined up. He believes that they'll sign. The real weakness of this team, one particular area, is kind of an important one. The offensive line is what's held them back more than anything. And then the defense.
I think the defense, when we had them week 1, there was so much talk about they went into the portal and got some defensive ends. They're going to rush the quarterback. You got a better secondary. And, you know, they've had some injuries, but it just, some of those big-name defensive end portal guys just haven't been able to step up the way they had hoped. And there's who they still have to play. Long way to go.
None of those SEC games are going to be easy, to say the least. Arkansas comes here. You got Tuscaloosa. They got to go to Norman in the finale. You get picked preseason top 10. They were much more highly regarded than the Aggies were in this conference preseason. A&M was basically considered by the pundits and the magazines, all that stuff, middle of the pack in the SEC. Instead, they're sitting atop the heap. Van Buren pressured. And going to take a hit as he's run out of bounds.
Nussmeier reminds me of the quarterback position, and I'm not saying NIL dollars, but this guy could have gone to the NFL. Decides to come back, huge expectations. Everybody calling him QB1, the guy that's going to get drafted early. And things got sideways. He started to get nicked up, not able to live up to what he thought of himself and what the expectations were on the outside. And it's suffocating. It's taken the fun out of the game for him. You could see the anguish on his face, not just physically, but emotionally. It's been a lot of wear and tear on Garrett Nussmeier this year.
No doubt. He is tough and resilient. Talked about his background, but the frustration has been building. It'll be another tough week for him, and nobody has higher expectations from him than him.
Yep. And like you said, he's one tough guy. And when I say tough, I'm talking about the mental toughness that it takes to play the position. He's got that, and he's been through a ton of adversity last year and this year.
There's an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Jordan Lockhart, shot on the sidelines in that last carry by Van Buren. Van Buren running for his life, this time to the far side, and scoots out of bounds near the 15.
The last time we came in here, I believe, was last year when
Alabama.
Jalen Milroe came in. And the reason I'm kind of having a flashback is I remember that game got away from LSU, and it looked a lot like this, like what we're looking at right now, which is just very, very unusual to see this stadium so empty in the fourth quarter of a game on a Saturday night.
2 minutes to go. Aggies putting the finishing touches on a huge road victory tonight.
Chris Kirk, back to you.
No surprise there.
Boy, Chris.
BYU and Cincinnati, by the way, both still undefeated, leading the Big 12 Conference.
How about those Cincinnati Bearcats? What a year.
Van Buren, well, he's come in, and now he's taking the punishment from these Aggies who are still playing hard on defense.
Again, that's the personality. These backup guys get a chance. You got to live up to the culture of what Mike Elko and this staff has created.
They got to grind away now. They're going to be patted on the back, just like all teams are these days that are really successful. You're a lock. I saw it on ESPN. You're a lock for the playoff. Now the battle is to focus Missouri on the road.
I feel like there's enough maturity on this team. They've been through enough bad that I think that can help keep them focused. And Marcel Reed, keep talking about him, but he's over there on the sideline. We have cameras on him. He's talking to every person over there. Whether you're a coach, a player, a starter, scout team guy, he encourages everybody.
Van Buren steps away from the pressure, trying to direct traffic and get somebody open in the end zone, and throws it. And off the juggle, Kyle Parker comes up with it. Touchdown LSU.
Kind of stopped the ball with his left hand. Then he got focused on his feet. It was just a matter of whether or not he had possession. You know, he's really had to come on this year with Aaron Anderson dealing with injury. There's the left hand. Now I watch his eyes go straight down. They make sure I'm in. Possessed the ball. Has it. Both feet down. And kept control of the ball.
Final minute, and it's the first points for LSU after halftime. They outscored A&M 11-0. Remember, in that second quarter, they had that 4-point lead going to halftime, and immediately, big kick return to begin the third quarter, turned the tide. And Concepcion, big punt return for a touchdown. The Aggie defense just suffocated LSU. Third quarter and most of the fourth here.
How about Van Buren coming in and leading them down 3 of 4, 50 yards and a touchdown.
12-play, 75-yard touchdown drive. And I believe that 5 points tonight. Ramos may have broken the LSU career scoring record. Not that he's going to take a great deal of positive emotion out of that. But hey, here's the last time the Aggies won this one.
Pick six isn't good.
No.
But here comes.
Bounce back. This is apparently out of producer Bill Bonnell's VHS machine. He saved it all these years. He brought it out from 1994.
You know that guy, Leland McElroy. Remember him as a great return man, great running back?
What else happened in 94? The Lion King came out.
Man.
Topped the box office.
Friends
debuted.
Thursday night, you and I and Bear used to climb up there and watch those.
They didn't have a World Series where there's a strike. There was no World Series. The SEC game moved to Atlanta for the first time. I think there was something else going on the West Coast out there in the LA freeways in 94. It was a big year.
Was it a
big year?
Let's take a peek at these SEC standings after this one.
Yep.
There's Bama, who you talked about.
Georgia not far behind. They they take on Florida, the cocktail party in Jacksonville.
Have you seen their schedule after winning today in Norman?
Pretty favorable. Very
favorable. Don't forget about Ole Miss. Vandy with a win today.
Somehow Texas, surviving, only has one loss in the SEC.
It's incredible. Feels like 8, the way that people have talked about them.
So you'd have 6 teams either undefeated or with just a single loss at this point.
Yeah.
Deeply satisfying for Mike Elko. Second straight week that Brian Kelly will have lost to a guy who was at one point a defensive coordinator for him at Notre Dame. Clark Lee and now Elko. Miles O'Neill gets to take victory formation.
Well, it's a good football team. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch them over the next few weeks. Hopefully they stay healthy, and it's going to be a lot of fun. They got some big matchups coming up if things go well. That's a playoff team right there.
Take it home is with the Aggies fans, who now at this point outnumber LSU fans, if you can believe that. I would say far outnumber them. The Aggies come to Death Valley and pummel LSU to stay perfect on the season. 8-0. First time since 1992. And they've got their sights set on 12-0. They've never made the SEC championship game since joining the league. Big 12 titles were not easy to come by either in their previous conference. They would be strongly favored to get to Atlanta this year. Well, 2 of the heroes for the Aggies tonight, Marcel Reed, KC Concepcion, are with Holly.
Well, Marcel, you said you want all the smoke of a road game, that you live for moments like this. How did you get this stadium empty and quiet this crowd with your performance tonight?
I mean, we just did what we practiced all week. You know, we knew that we were the better team all week. I mean, we got the guys, we got Casey over here, you know, who make plays every day. And, you know, we just went out there and executed the best of our ability. And, you know, clear their stands. Our student section went all the way to theirs. Shoot, it feels great to be a 12 man right now.
For you, this is a new experience for you playing at Texas A&M this season. You guys have developed some beautiful chemistry. What's it like for you out there right now?
I mean, it's just amazing, you know. It's just amazing, you know, to be out there with, you know, all my guys, you know, just out there having fun, you know, cheering for one another. So, I mean, it's just an amazing feeling, you know. It's like no other feeling.
Tell me about the punt return. That was an electric moment that changed this game. From your perspective, Marcel, because you were out there dancing with him. Start with you, and then let's get your perspective.
I mean, it's always amazing when we can put points on the board and I don't have to go out there. So, I mean, I'm just watching this dude. I told him he's nice. I told this dude he was nice when he came to the sideline. I mean, I ain't seen that many punt returns in a season, like, from one of my teammates ever. So, like, just to see somebody who can make explosive plays like that is amazing to watch.
Why are you so special out there?
I'm just blessed by God. I caught the ball, and then I had acted like I was going to bounce, and then I saw number 3 kind of let up a little bit, and then I just hit the sideline, and then I hit the burners. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Go get that alma mater, son. Go sing that.
Let's go. Let's go.
I guarantee there's Aggies watching this right now who are choked up, emotional about this. We're used to seeing that at Kyle Field. No one is supposed to come to Death Valley. LSU, as Reed said, cleared the place, cleared the stadium out, and then swayed your alma mater down in the end zone after a 24-point victory here.
Message sent. It's a dangerous, dangerous football team that appears to be psychologically on a collective mission. It was on display tonight in all 3 phases. Marcel Reed provides tremendous stability and leadership as that steady hand as their quarterback. And you got a lot of moxie on that defensive side. This, like I said, this wasn't a fluke. This team is for real. They're going to be fun to watch.
Mike Elko, masterful job. Year 2 here, building this team. He's with Holly.
Well, Coach, this is not a scene we've ever seen at LSU. What does it mean to you and your program that you made this happen here tonight?
Yeah, I don't know if I did. I think the guys in the locker room did, but this crowd is awesome. Kyle Field fans, Texas A&M fans, they've wanted this for a long time. The kids came out in the second half and did what we asked them to do, played one heck of a second half, and we went out and won a football game.
8-0, there's something special brewing with this group, Coach. What do you feel that it is?
Yeah, I think there's a togetherness. I think there's a stick-to-itiveness. We certainly didn't get everything our way in the first half. We battled through things. We don't blink, and then when it's time to go make plays, we got a lot of guys who can go make plays.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Holly.
Championships are not won in October. We know that. Things can happen quickly. Momentum can change. Things can turn out to be a lot more fragile than they appear. But having said all that, you love the ingredients they have and the fortitude of this team. It does feel different, doesn't it?
It really does. It's like I said, I think it's one thing to try to put the X's and O's together, and they're really good at that with Colin Klein on offense and Elko and Jay Bateman. But when you get a team that wants to play for each other, they probably like to practice on Tuesday. It's just a rare thing that you sometimes can't predict. They have it. It was on full display. They keep that together. They stay healthy. Johnny Manziel and everybody back at College Station, you have a lot to be proud of. This is a good football team.
He was right in the tease.
He was.
They came to Baton Rouge, came to Death Valley, and made it theirs. The Aggies own the night. We enjoy bringing it to you. The game produced by Bill Bonnell, directed by Jimmy Platt, our entire crew. Tremendous job as always. We'll see you down the trail, the home stretch of the SEC coming up, except on the West Coast. Stay tuned for your local news over most of these ABC stations. For Kurt, Holly, Bill, and our entire crew, Chris Fowler saying good night from the Bayou.
Thank you for watching this presentation of the Southeastern Conference on ABC.